the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Ring Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Ring Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional.
Outlaw Radio Network. Tell them how you feel. Politics, sports. It's all on the table. Hosted by K-Dog and St. Paul. Black Tom, the CEO, boss baby, DJ D. Outlaw Radio Network. Tune in, tune in. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Outlaw Radio Network. Tune in, tune in. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Outlaw Radio Network. Tell them how you feel. Politics, sports. It's all on the table. Hosted by K-Dog and St. Paul. Black Tom, the CEO, boss baby, DJ D. Outlaw Radio Network. Tune in, tune in. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Outlaw Radio Network. Tune in, tune in. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Outlaw Radio Network. Tell them how you feel. Politics, sports. It's all on the table. Hosted by K-Dog and St. Paul. Black Tom, the CEO, boss baby, DJ D. Outlaw Radio Network. Tune in, tune in. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up. Outlaw Radio Network. Tune in, tune in. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up.
On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network, Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network, powered by our friends at Destination Highway 420, proudly supporting our veterans in the Bremerton community. Visit them online at destinationhighway420.com. 21 and over.
Cannabis has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Keep out of the reach of children.
Never give in. Never give in. Never, never, never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network. OutlawRadioNetwork.com.
This country can't be knocked out with one punch. We get right back up again, and when we do, the world's going to hear the roar of our engines.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
You do your work, and we will do our bit.
Republic. I like the sentiment. It means people can live free, talk free, go or come, buy or sell, be drunk or sober, however they choose.
Are you ready to be who you are?
No poetry, just a straight answer.
The government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace.
We are men of the hood, Mary, now your experience.
But there's no both sides anymore. They're just trying to wreck our goddamn country. It's time for you younger guys to take over.
You meant to be here tonight. This is your time. Their time is done. It's over. Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
If you guys don't start thinking as men, we're going to have a lousy country.
For the crimes of incitement to cause unrest, I declare to be an outlaw.
All right, everybody, it is the Outlaw Radio Network for the 15th of March. Is this the Ides of March? I ask that every day do we do a show in March. I say, is this the Ides of March? Is. Oh, it's the Ides of March. Yay! All right, sorry. I don't even know what the Ides of March are for, but it's a thing. Hello, Beals.
Hey.
What's going on?
Not a whole lot. What's up with you?
How's your week?
It was fantastic.
We had snow this week.
We had snow. We had sun, lots of sun.
We had lots of sun. We had
you
some
know what
snow.
I like to do when the sun's out in the winter?
What's that?
Roll down my window and turn up my heat all the way in summer.
You're a dork. You're a dork.
I do it every time. It's the best feeling in the world.
All right.
Besides actual sun.
We have an abbreviated staff tonight. Paul will join us later remotely. Tom is off. He said it was because it's his dad's birthday, but I believe it's because in a moment we're going to have a retired judge on, and it just makes Tom nervous. So we'll have retired Judge Dave Larson. He's running for Washington State Supreme Court. We'll chat with him in just a moment. Later in the show, we got a couple gentlemen that are going to be performing on Thursday night out at a Funny Night Out, which is a monthly performance comedy show out at Tracington Movie House in East Bremerton. So a couple of the guys that are performing at that, a couple of the comedians that are performing at that are going to join us remotely at 9:30. In the meantime, we'll talk about all the other stuff that's going on. There's a ton of stuff to discuss. Before I bring the judge on, because I know that we're going to ask him some Seahawks stuff just because of his past involvement.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this. This is my message to conservatives today. Please stop talking about that the Seahawks are going to leave because of the millionaire tax bill. Like, I hate the millionaire income tax. Like, I think it's the stupidest thing ever. Mm-hmm. But the Seahawks are not leaving.
Right.
Okay.
Lots of other states.
The Rams have been competitive for a decade. The Niners have been competitive for a decade. California has one of the most regressive track structures in the country. They've managed to field teams and be competitive. The Seahawks aren't going anywhere. Stop it. If you want people not to support the income tax, then base it on fact. This is like when they said Obama's going to steal our guns. Yeah. Obama never came and take the guns. So people were like, see, Republicans don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. Obama didn't take your guns, and you shot a hole in your argument. So quit making up stupid arguments that aren't factual. Base them on the truth so you can get the community behind you and they understand why you're against it. Anyway, I had to get it because my feed has been blown up with that crap this week, and I'm just like, stop it. It's not true.
That is the whole chain reaction, like when you play telephone when you're
Oh
a
my
kid.
good gosh, man. It's
Slowly just
It's ridiculous.
It is.
Reminder, our show tonight brought to you by our good friends over at Destination Highway 420 on Hollis Street, across the street from Cloverleaf. Stop in and see them for a fine selection of Washington's finest cannabis products. Also, Black Ring Spirits. Even though Tom isn't here, we are still in his distillery. Still doing the show. It is the official home of the Outlaw Radio Network. Stop in and see what Tom is distilling. And Kitsap Great Escape, the only escape room in Kitsap County. There was two, but I heard the other one closed. The one on Bainbridge I heard shut down, which is very sad.
That is sad. Yep.
We want businesses to do well.
Anytime we lose a small business.
Yep. But stop in and see Kitsap Great Escape. 3 great rooms right now to serve you. But coming up later, maybe by the end of the month, the newest room will come out. And all I'm going to say is it involves magic spells and magic wands.
Sounds so
some really cool stuff that they're building out. I say I work there, but I have nothing to do with the design or implementation of the new room.
Do you guys have to like buy the design? Is
Nope, we're doing this one 100% in-house.
Do you usually do it all in-house?
We did Kidnap County in-house. The other rooms we purchased, but Kidnap County we did in-house. Kidnap County 2
Tell me
we'll
you
do
were in
in-house.
Kitsap County Drug Court without telling me you were in Kitsap County Drug
What,
Court.
Kidnap County? I was never in Kidnap County Drug Court.
I'm talking about those hoodies, the ones that say Kidnap County.
Oh yeah. I tried to get us to
drug
sell those, and ownership wouldn't allow me to wouldn't co-sign on the cost for me to get the T-shirts that get Kidnap County. I thought they would sell like hotcakes.
I think they would.
I think they would too.
Yeah.
People don't listen to me. I'm a genius. Let's. You guys ready to go to our guest?
Yeah, let's go to our guest.
So he is running for Washington State Supreme Court. He's a retired judge. He got really high marks when he was a judge before. Now he wants to get back into the fray. We'll bring him live on the camera. Judge Dave Larson joins us from a cool looking office, man. What are you, all the presidents there behind you? What's going on, Judge? How are you?
Well, that's kind of my admiration of those two particular presidents. And that's the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And below that, you can't see it by my chair, is the signing of the Constitution. So,
love it.
Okay, so is that Lincoln and Jefferson behind you over your shoulder?
Lincoln and Washington.
Is that Washington? I couldn't tell from the. Yeah. All right.
Washington had a chance to be king, and he turned it down and voluntarily left office and set the trend.
Yeah, it is one of those really lesser known facts of history, right, Your Honor? It's just this premise that he really could have just opted to stay there till he died, and instead understood the importance of peaceful transitions of power.
Well, he's symbolic of kind of the way it should be, that your role as a public official is a responsibility and a duty, not a power and control issue. And that's, we've devolved into where we as voters sometimes install people into office that are more about power and control because we want to get our way than we do getting people in there that are motivated by duty and responsibility. And for me, I successfully retired for 30 days before I come back in to the fray to run for the Supreme Court, and it's out of a sense of duty. And by the way, you were talking about the income tax, and I used to drag race in NHRA competition. I raced 5 races every year in California, Sears Point, Sacramento, and Pomona twice. Twice in Sears Point, twice in Pomona, and once in Sacramento. And we were subject to what's called the jock tax.
Mm-hmm.
So every year when you go to the original race in Pomona, you'd have a tax official that'd show up to fill out all the forms. If you want any money, you had to pay income tax in California. Sam Darnold just got stuck with that, and some other players were playing in the Super Bowl. So anyway,
isn't that amazing though, that they get their paycheck from an organization in Washington, and yet because they played a game there, they've got to pay taxes there, right, even though the income didn't come from there.
Right. Yeah. And the difference with NHRA is they're based in California, but you're still subject to, if you win any money, you're subject to paying income tax. So.
Wow.
Judge Dave Larson joining us. I want to go over some ground rules really quick for the listeners. Am I calling you Judge or Your Honor or Dave or Mr. Larson, or please don't sentence me? Or
Dave at this point, because although it's just like being in the military, they call you a major or colonel until you die. So it's appropriate to call me Judge, but I'm not currently a judge, and so you can just call me Dave. And I've always just been Dave anyway. I mean, that's just my personality.
Perfect. So, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it.
I've never been a stuffed shirt, and I was asked one time, somebody said, will you look like a stuffed shirt. And I said, that's Taco Bell and McDonald's. That's not, that's not my attitude. But anyway.
So I want to go over this with the listeners, actually, and you tell me if I'm off base on this, but I think I remember from the time that we've interviewed people that are running for judicial offices before, there's a lot of things we can't ask you about, not because you're not willing to talk about it or wouldn't want to talk about it, but just because you're going to be an impartial member of the bench if you're elected. So things like specific thoughts on bills that may come your way. Like, I'm not going to say, Dave, what do you think about this millionaire tax? Because it's inevitably going to make it to the Washington Supreme Court. And if you're elected, you're going to have an impartial view before you rule on it. So we can't ask those questions. Am I right on that?
Yeah, and there's a good purpose behind it, is because if judicial candidates or judges start talking about how they rule on cases, they're kind of signaling to this up to the side on the other side that they don't have a fair shot, and that's just not consistent with due process or anything to do with any kind of fundamental fairness that is needed in the system. So it's and you have to keep it. You really, to be a judge, you have to be in love with the fact that nobody really gives a rip about your personal opinion, and you shouldn't either. You should apply the law and the Constitution the way it's written, and it's almost like a form of ministry in the sense you have to. It's a vow of I don't know what with mental celibacy or something. You have to not let your personal views infiltrate the decision, and if they do, you have a duty, I believe, to recuse yourself. If you can't get over your personal opinions and decide in your case, you shouldn't hear the case.
So let's start there, Judge. Let's start with that, because it really is one of the foundational tenets of being a judge, right? Is to be able to put aside, this is how I personally feel, what I personally think. How do you do that in that role? As you said, you were a judge for 30 years before you retired for a whopping 30 days.
No, 18 years, sir, as a judge, 23 years as a trial lawyer.
Okay. 18 years as a judge. How do you do that? How do you remove yourself from the personal connection to things to focus solely on the law?
You have to aspire to being that way. You have to value that that's your role, and understand why you shouldn't go past that, because you're interfering with the political process when you kind of get yourself involved in policy issues. People in the political process, everybody gets heard, and the goal is to have consensus that ends up with laws that we all need. That's the goal, right? And so anybody can be heard, even though you just show up, and just like the income tax bill, there was 100,000 people wanted to be heard in opposition, and most of the time it's not that many. But ultimately, what it comes down to is in that system, you end up with consensus. Where in courts, you have only the parties that are involved in the case get heard, and it's a winner and a loser. There's no consensus. There's no consensus building. And so it cheats the political process when the court system gets itself involved in setting public policy. If the legislature doesn't pass or create a law that's clear enough, or that is does what it intends to do, then go back and redraft it. The court shouldn't do it for them.
I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
How do you in that role handle the divisiveness that we see in politics today? Right. I mean, the judiciary is kind of called on to be the arbiter and to bridge gaps and to make sure that partisanship doesn't win out when they pass laws or initiatives or whatever. How do you interact in what has become a really and maybe let me ask this: is this the most polarized in politics that you've seen in your experience?
Yeah, my degree's in public administration, so I'm a student of government, and what the court should be doing is make the rest of the process work instead of being a crutch or a kind of the fall guy, for lack of a better term, when the other two branches don't do what they should do, and don't look to the courts to resolve those kind of policy issues. And that more and more that's happening. You're correct. And what ends up happening as a result is we end up wanting to install judges and justices that will do our bidding, that will make sure that our side wins. And you can see it at the federal level and the state level, where because the political stuff is so important now, that who the judges are and the justices are you have to pass litmus tests to be able to be there, because there's this political struggle to make sure that you as a judge don't, that you're going to do the bidding of the people that get you in office. And that's just not, that's making the judicial system dysfunctional too. So I don't know if that answered your question, but it's really it's, I think the judiciary has to aspire to something better than what we're doing now. We need to make sure that the other bodies do their work and they don't look to us.
Dave, was there something that happened that made you come out of retirement that made you want to say, hey, let me just throw my hat back in the ring?
Well, I was at an event on judicial elections, actually, and I wasn't a participant in it. I was an audience member, and I talked about because it's about getting judges elected, being more competitive, having more contested races. And so I stood up and gave kind of a mini lecture to folks about maintaining the momentum, because in 2024, I lost by 0.61%.
Wow.
20,000 votes out of 3.6 million, right?
And I met you in 2020 at 2 of the state committee meetings.
Right.
I remember.
And the thing is that so I'm standing up there all smug, telling people you need to maintain the momentum.
Right.
And somebody reminded me that there isn't anybody with more. And by the way, I ain't got good grammar. No, just kidding. So I'm just Dave, like I said. But the point is that who's got more momentum than you, right? And so it's kind of either put up or shut up. And I just had my 5th grandchild born too.
Congratulations.
Well, yeah, thank you. But and I'm not bragging about. Well, I am bragging about it.
You should, yes.
The idea is that by the time he's an adult, we need a better way of doing business when it comes to how we're governed.
Yes,
and we
absolutely.
are so far out from how we're supposed to be governed in all 3 branches.
Yes.
And like I've maintained that our institutions aren't failing us, we're failing our institutions. And it's, Article 1, Section 1 of the state constitution says all political power is inherent in the people. Governments derive their just powers from the consent of the governed, and the purpose of government is to protect and maintain individual rights.
Exactly.
And how much can we say that government is, in all 3 branches, is living up to that particular creed? And that's the very first provision in our Constitution and language from the Declaration of Independence, which we happen to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of.
Yes.
So getting back to some of these fundamental things, and can I tell you a story about how I see elected office?
Of course, yeah.
Sure. So I'm heavily involved in civics education, and I was with some high school students along with some other elected officials. And one of the students asked, when did you feel closest to your position? And so I was last, and all the legislators and mayors and that kind of thing go down the line talking about program they created, money they spent, something they did. And it got to me, and I told the students about a time when I was in the back of a line at a chili cook-off. And somebody came up to me and introduced themselves, or didn't introduce themselves, said, "Hey, Judge, how you doing?" They knew me. And then they left. And the person behind me says, "Hey, you're a judge, just cut up in front of the line." And I said, "Actually, when I don't have my robe on, I'm like anybody else." And I told the students that story. I told the students, the reason I told you that story is my role is first that of citizen.
Yeah.
I play a role as a judge. It's a responsibility, not a power. It's a responsibility and a duty, not a power. And it's not about power and control. I'm a servant, not a master. That's the way it's supposed to be, is that our elected officials are there to, again, understand that they serve at the consent of the people, that the political power is inherent in the people, and my purpose is to protect and maintain individual rights.
Yes.
And that is exactly, it can't be better defined than what we say in our own Constitution.
Dave, if you listen to the pundits, there's 2 types of judges, right? There are judges that are originalist judges that believe that the Constitution, whether it be the federal or the state, is written as it is. It doesn't change. It doesn't evolve. And then there's another angle to that says that the documents are living, breathing documents that have to grow and shape with time. As society evolves, the documents have to evolve as well. How do you consider that in your role as a judge? Is it more of a concrete document? Does there have to be some ebb and flow? How do you consider that when you're looking at cases?
Well, see, the problem with the law and the problem with disputes is nothing ever seems to, you can't, it's a lot of time it's square peg and maybe a rectangular hole. It's not something that neatly fits. So you have to interpret things. And when you're interpreting them, the models you're talking about play the role in interpreting. And you look at the plain words and you try to make them make sense and put a square peg in a square hole. That's what you try to do. And it's when it's not so neat that it becomes crucial that you look at the words. And you have to understand the Constitution itself also has provision for amending it. So if the courts can't fit a square peg in a square hole, then the legislature needs to, and the people need to with constitutional amendments.
Right.
So that's the way it works. And that's the Constitution built right in the Constitution is a provision for changing it. So the courts
but when
didn't
we
get,
do that, we get stuff like the income tax. So
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
my understanding from, and this already happened, so I can talk about, my understanding is that the voters have rejected the constitutional amendment in the past multiple times
yeah,
to provide for an income tax. But that's where if the attitude of government officials is that all political power is inherent in government and government serves at the consent of government and the purpose of government is to protect government, then you end up getting laws. And I don't want to pick on the income tax. It could be any law
yeah, exactly.
that is focused more on protecting, representing the government rather than representing the people.
Mhm.
And so, but regardless of the political motives and regardless of what happens in the process, the court's
Yeah.
job's the same. Whatever spits out the other end of the legislative process is put in the lap of the court if there's a dispute, and the court has to decide based on the wording of the statute, the wording of the Constitution, and everything else, decide the outcome. And if it isn't good enough because the legislature didn't do their job or the governor didn't do their job or whoever, then they can send it back to them and make them do their job.
This will be an awkward question. If what's laid out as your job as a judge is pretty standard, right? Impartiality, you have to look at the law the way that it's written. How does a voter know that Judge Dave is the right guy to vote for as opposed to whomever you're running against? Or what makes a differentiating factor for a voter to consider when they're voting for a judge when it should be pretty common sense that ideally it should all be about the same, right? Or is there a difference?
Well, in 2024, the two of us that made it to the general election, one of us was a trial judge and one of us has never been a judge. So I think it's just like I've said in the NFL, on the Supreme Court in particular, there's a difference between voting for trial judges and voting for Supreme Court justices, right?
Mhm.
Trial judges, you're looking for people that know the nuts and bolts, that maybe they haven't been a judge before, but they've been a trial lawyer. They've been in the trenches, so they understand when they're sitting in judgment what they're supposed to do. When you go to the Supreme Court, the example I use is the NFL doesn't use former players to do instant replay, right? They use refs, and that's the judge is a ref. And so when you get to the Supreme Court, I believe you have to have trial experience, actually litigating cases, because you're looking at litigation that's happened in lower courts, and you have to have trial judge experience,
Mhm.
right? And without that trial judge and trial lawyer experience, you're hampered, and you don't really understand the perspective. And we've seen some of that come out of the Supreme Court. After in January, there's only going to be two trial judges left on the court. There's going to be
Wow.
and we see it in some of the courtrooms. When you asked me earlier, one of the reasons I ran, well, the straw that broke the camel's back was a new proposed rule that would make it almost impossible to issue a warrant for somebody that doesn't show up for court for a criminal case.
Oh no.
Yeah,
No more bench warrants?
Well, not that there's no more bench warrants. There has to be a showing that the person is willfully not coming to court.
Are you kidding me?
No, and how do you do that if the person isn't there? And so you don't know why they didn't come. And so that's going to weaken the system. And then even if you can issue a warrant, they're making bail almost meaningless. And so it'll hamper. And without understanding, like for 18 years was in the trenches on criminal cases. Without understanding what impact that has when you're trying to make a decision, about or trying to make the system work and have people show up, that's a big deal. So that right there kind of, one of my colleagues, because I had retired, I was happy, I was going to get a street rod, I was going to enjoy life, and then a colleague called and said, have you seen what the court's possibly going to do on this release of defendant rule? And I looked at it and I went, oh my God, are you kidding me?
It just blows me away.
Right. And so having a trial judge perspective on the court, so that in this year's race, the two of us, the governor just appointed the person the other day that's going to pair up with me. If there's nobody else that'll run in this seat, will appear on the November ballot. If somebody else shows up, we'll have a primary, but he's never been a trial judge.
Okay.
Never sat on the bench. And
so you're not running against an incumbent. You're running against, it's going to be.
Well, that takes us back to what your listeners may want to know about how we select judges. I actually, in the Seattle Times in December 8th, 2024, there's an op-ed I wrote on judicial elections. But at the time, 83% of the judiciary had been appointed by Jay Inslee and without a check and balance. There's no confirmation process like at the federal level. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of under the radar for everybody, but it's ironic that in the 250th year of the Declaration of Independence, one of the grievances was that the king got to appoint all the judges, right? Mm. And so, of that 83%, there was only 30 contested elections. So about 150 judges had never been approved by the voters. And so, so I forget your original question. I apologize, but the point is that I'll explain the rest, how that ties into your question now. Barbara Madsen retired. She turned out because you can't be older than 75 to be on the court. Okay. She's turning 75, and so it was vacant. So when I saw that, I decided to run for that seat, and I had decided to run almost 2 months ago. About a month and a half ago, and but on Tuesday, the governor appointed a replacement, a lawyer from K&L Gates, the big law firm in Seattle. Bill Gates' dad is the Gates in that firm, and so that's the person I paired. That if nobody else runs, that'll be the pair. It'll be an 18-year trial judge, 23-year trial lawyer against somebody that hasn't served as a judge, and. So
why do you think people are reluctant to run? Like, because if memory serves me correct, Judge, there's not a prerequisite to running. Like anybody could run for judge. Like I could run for judge.
You got to be a lawyer.
Oh, you have to be a lawyer, so you have to be on the bar.
In courts of limited jurisdiction, like municipal courts, you used to be able to be a non-lawyer, but they changed that rule. But it's precarious. And in 2020, I actually had my career threatened when I decided to run, and. My career got better, so it didn't have an impact, but it's good. Expensive. It's expensive. You can't fundraise yourself. You have to have committees do that for you. There's all kinds of constraints, and then also you're potentially running against somebody that is an incumbent, especially in this where the typical thing that happens is a judge will resign, which will create a vacancy, which allows the governor to come and replace. Yeah. And in 2024, the race I was in, that was the first time in 12 years that the people themselves got to decide who the justice was. Wow. All the rest of the time, the governor appoints, and then that person gets the air of incumbency. Mm-hmm. And the media looks at it that way. Everybody looks at it that way. They've never passed the test of a popular vote. And I do believe that we need to elect judges, and we need to do a better job of educating the public how to do that. In fact, that's what that op-ed was about too, about forming what's called the Judicial Elections Commission, which job would be to inform people about how to vote.
So Tegan in the chat said, Dave, tell us about your judge rating idea.
Basically, the Judicial Elections Commission would be formed you'd have 4 people appointed by the Democrats in the House and the Senate, 4 people appointed by the Republicans in the House and the Senate, and the governor's office would appoint a chair, ex officio chair. Mm-hmm. There would be a criteria that would be used. People would get a score. And then just like civil service, when there's a vacancy, the governor could pick from the top three. It's called the rule of three in civil service. So the governor could pick from the top three folks on the rating. That's how you fill a vacancy. Those ratings could also be used in the election process. Now, just so people are aware, there are rating systems, but there's in some cases very political. In 2016, when I ran, I was had a lot of support. I got the endorsements of 3 of the 4 major newspapers in Washington.
Nice.
But still lost to an incumbent. But in that race, because I was running against an incumbent, the King County Bar rated me not qualified, even though they had rated me exceptionally well qualified as a trial judge.
Wow.
I appealed and got well qualified, right? And but then in 2020, after having 24 new accomplishments, the President's Award from my Judges Association, and named a hero of Federal Way Schools for my role in civics, I was dropped down to qualified, and that couldn't be appealed. One of the committee members quit because of what happened in that case. So this would remove, it would still be political because you'd have Democrats and Republicans, but you'd have a balance of Democrats and Republicans. So the rating process that you see isn't necessarily appropriate and fair. It's sometimes very political. There's a lot of the rating process that is not political. The Laura Miller Bar I was most impressed with. That's the bar that represents Black lawyers. I got exceptionally well qualified. The Veterans Bar I got exceptionally well qualified. But some of the other bars, you go into the evaluation process, they're more interested in some of the political issues than they are in your qualifications.
Yes.
And so this would remove some of that and sterilize some of that and balance it out. So so if one side wanted to get somebody, the other side would balance it out. If there was a political, one of the criteria would be the absence of political influence on the candidate. So that would be, so the idea that somebody gets scored down if they were very politically active on one side or the other. That would be a negative.
Okay.
Nancy asked in the chat, how can Ferguson appoint someone to run against you? Is that legal? I think it's just because he's appointing someone to fill an empty seat, which is within his.
So I'm technically he's running. I would say he's running against me because I identified first, but he's now, as of April 4th, he'll be sworn in and he will be Justice. His name's Theo Angeles. He'll be Justice Theo Angeles. So when I run, I'll be running against somebody that's already a Supreme Court justice that's never been confirmed by the Senate, never been approved by anybody else other than one person. And the election process is the approval process when it gets down to it. The people, that's why they have to run right away. And one of the things in exchange for this kind of, if you had the rule of 3 that I'd propose, is that instead of the person having to run right away, they'd serve the unexpired term. Because there's a lot of people that would be that are leaving their law practice or leaving their other position only to have to run within a few months of being appointed. And it's some fairness.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, so add some fairness to it if they will agree to this kind of, get the highest rated people in office, get rid of some of the politics. Then you could be fair and say, well, we're going to make it so you don't have to run until the end of the person you replace until the end of that term.
Dave, so, I know you have George Washington on your wall, but is he your favorite founder?
I think the people, the thing I said, actually, I was at an event last night and somebody asked me why I ran. And I think the collective is because they were willing to give their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor.
Absolutely.
Right? And I told somebody, it'd be embarrassing not to run because all I have to do is go around the state and talk to nice people and be on shows like this. And occasionally get told I'm full of it and people not saying nice things about me. That's the worst that can happen. It'd be embarrassing not to run.
I like your attitude on that. Way to be positive.
Yeah. So people, some people want to criticize the founders. I wrote a piece called Living with Liberty back in 1998 that I taught in schools. But the criticism was I was quoting Jefferson and those folks, and they owned slaves. Well, and that is true. But the Declaration of Independence planted the seed that made the Civil War happen, that made the Civil Rights Movement happen, that made women's suffrage happen.
Yeah.
Without that seed, there wouldn't have been any of that movement. Martin Luther King, in his I Have a Dream speech, invoked the Declaration of Independence, wanted to cash a check on the Declaration of Independence. It's something that and this is what I always say too, tyranny is the default in history, and we're the exception. And it's just like a vacuum trying to continue to suck us down into tyranny. And you have to reassert those principles on a consistent basis. In fact, Article 1, Section 32 of our state constitution says a frequent recurrence to fundamental principles is essential to individual right and the perpetuity of free government. Our founders put it in there because they saw what happened in the 100 years after the formation of our Constitution and how we've devolved, just like we've devolved today. And the idea is you continue to have to bathe yourself in those principles so that you can have things like, you can love things like due process, equal protection, all those things the courts are there to protect, and protect in a way that isn't political, that isn't based on, that we don't have our thumb on the scale for anybody. And then society can work and be functional. And if we, like I said earlier, we're failing our institutions because the institution by design are fine. It's just that we have now, we're so interested in getting a way that we've lost our way.
Yeah,
is what it's come down to. And we feel like we need to install people into office that'll do our bidding and make the other side lose. And we all lose in the process. And that's true for judges, that's true with legislators, mayors, school board members, whatever. And we end up, the dysfunction is self-imposed.
And so who was your favorite founder?
Well, obviously the fact that Thomas Jefferson penned the Declaration of Independence, and by the way, a lot of people don't know there was a paragraph in there on slavery that was taken out.
Yeah.
How he repudiated slavery, which is kind of hard to understand how you can own slaves and repudiate it, just get rid of them. But
yeah,
but it's just perplexing to try to figure that out, what was going through their minds, but how they could, feel the way they did and exclude a whole group of people from that, right? But again, ultimately, that seed, once it's planted, that's going to grow.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the whole founding father slave thing is actually really easy for me, Judge. It's that they were competing on a playing field where it had to be leveled. And Thomas Jefferson could get rid of the slaves if he wanted to take the step to get rid of them, but then he was on an uneven playing field for what he was doing as far as agriculture and all the other stuff he was doing. He wouldn't have been fighting with other businesses or whatever on a level playing field.
Right.
It actually, the one thing about the founding fathers that I totally understand that everybody else, especially on the left, wants to argue about is, oh, well, they had slaves. Well, they had to. That was the culture and the economic climate of the country at that time, especially in Virginia, where Jefferson was from. Right.
And the thing is, the idea that this guy, 33 years old, he's 2 years younger than my oldest son, who's a law enforcement officer, by the way. But my other son's a physician.
Thank him for his service.
That I get to brag about both of them. But
what does your second son do? I missed it.
A physician. He's an internal medicine.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
He's been board certified now for 2 years. But
congratulations.
Yeah, and his wife is also board certified family practice. So that's where the fifth grandchild came from.
Wow.
They now have two. But so what was our original question though? I apologize.
Your favorite founder.
Your favorite founder.
Thomas Jefferson, right?
It was Jefferson, basically.
Okay, good.
Okay, but hold on, Judge. Hold on.
Without him writing that, and see, the thing is that once you understand those principles, and by the way, I've created a program called How Freedom Works. And I've presented about 6 or 7 times. I'm in the process of creating a website. It's educating people on the fundamental principles. If you can imagine the Constitution as the foundation of the country, where I teach is the hard pan that the Constitution sits on. The belief system. And it's based on two rules. And I'll tell you why I came up with these rules in a minute. But the 2 rules are: rule 1, love the freedom of others as much or more as you love your own. That's rule 1. Rule 2, it's more important to do right than it is to be right. And the reason I came up with those rules is because right now we're the opposite. My rights are more important than yours, and I'm going to be right even if I'm wrong. I'm entitled to my opinion, and you're entitled to my opinion too. And if you disagree with me, you must be one step shy of Satan.
That is exactly what's happening in society right now. It is
Right,
insane.
And disagreement, the disagreement is essential to to representative government. One of my corny sayings is disagreement's an opportunity, not a threat. It makes you makes you grow. It makes you better. When you hear, in fact, I seek out disagreement. I want people to disagree with me because I don't want to do stupid things. And if I shut people out that disagree with me, I could do stupid things. I'll tell you another story if you want. I don't know how much time you have.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, my priest asked me to be involved. I was a mediator. I had my own mediation company. I had 26 contract mediators at the time. And my priest asked me to help keep this marriage of 46 years together between these man and wife that were married 46 years. And I said, well, I'm not a marriage counselor and I don't do family law mediation. And he said, please. And then I wanted to say nice things at my funeral. So I said, okay, I'll do it. Anyway, this guy was a Boeing engineer who helped us get us to the moon, right? I'm very integral in doing it. And he wanted to invest in, this was like 30 years ago. So he wanted to invest in these inventions. I think he called it GPS, right? And we know GPS now, but he wanted to do GPS farming so that you'd have automated farming and that type of thing. But it was real risky in what he was trying to do. And the wife wanted to just settle down, be conservative with their money, and maybe pass on some of it to the kids and play with the grandkids, and that was just one of their issues. And so in one of our private meetings that I had, because I would meet with them privately, is the husband to justify himself. If it wasn't for people like me, we'd have never made it to the moon. And I looked him square in the eye and I said, if it wasn't for people like your wife, we'd have never made it back.
Right.
Because it's the idea of having that countervailing, that wait a minute, it's the wait a minute attitude that will get you back. And I don't care what the idea is, whatever. There's been many times when I've had highfalutin ideas. I'm going to go to the moon on my idea.
Yeah.
And because of some intervention and somebody saying, wait a minute, I didn't even try to blast off. I didn't even try because it would have been a failing idea. And the other way I explain it in Living with Liberty is, say you have 6 ideas and I have 6. You have 3 bad ideas, 3 good ideas. I have 3 bad ideas, and 3 good ideas. If I'm in power, we go forward with 3 bad ideas and 3 good ideas. But if we compare notes and we listen to each other and try to do right instead of be right, then we end up proceeding forward with 6 good ideas and get rid of 6 bad ideas.
Wow.
Dave, I love your message. I literally wish everybody could hear that and take it to heart. It's fantastic.
It's like I said, when I was 3 years, my mom told me, I didn't remember when I was 3, but my mom told me that I'd be in a room and I wouldn't say anything. And believe it or not, I wouldn't say anything. Now I'm paid by the word. But then when everybody left, I would then recap everything that was said in the room and ask what this meant and that meant.
Yeah.
And so it's just observing and seeing and again, having a degree in basically government, how to run government, gives me that kind of perspective. And then I've been there, done that. I mean, I been on a school board. I was school board president, and that's how I became a judge. Is the court was making national media with the controversies, and they asked me to come in and fix the court. And so I came in the city. So it was a municipal court, and I came in, and 18 years later, I was still there. But and that's a whole different story in terms of what sense of purpose that gave me, why I continue to run for the Supreme Court, why I think it's so important. That's a whole different animal in terms of the passion and that I have for trying to make our system the best it can be and actually serve people better. So that's a whole different aspect of why I'm running. But ultimately, it's always been based on a feeling of duty and a feeling of responsibility to others.
Okay.
I did put the link to your website, larsonforjustice.com, if people want to find out more about you, kind of your experience, your passion for the law, all of that. I want to push back a little bit because Alexander Hamilton really is the greatest founding father. Let's be honest.
There you go. Yeah. Well, now founding father, if you're talking Constitution, That's different than the Declaration of Independence. So the Constitution, now we're talking Monroe,
Very true. Very true.
Madison,
Yeah,
Hamilton, John Jay, and those folks. But yeah, when it comes to the Constitution, I think you're correct. I think my favorite Federalist paper is Federalist Paper 10.
Nice.
If you look at it, there's language in there about what an elected official should be. Chosen body of citizens whose love of justice. I can't remember all the exact language, but if you look it up, and anybody, your listeners can look it up too. But if they Control F, they can find
I actually
body. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
I actually recommend Federalist number 10 for the research paper I assigned to my students on why we have a republic instead of a democracy.
Right. And it talked about the factions and exactly what we're faced with today is factions. And the idea is to keep factions at arm's length.
Right.
And don't let it infiltrate into government because, but they talked about, do you shut down factions or do you not shut down what do you do with factions? And basically, one of the things I teach in How Freedom Works is that the reason disagreement is so important is when the process is done, when the sausage making of law is done, we end up with laws that we all need. But when it's about power and control, we end up with laws only some of us want.
Right. It's all arbitrary.
That's when you end up having this steamroller of dissent, the steamroller of feeling like there isn't fairness in the political process. And there's some states that are more red and some states that are more blue, but it can work either way, where if somebody believes that it's about power and getting my way. One of my other sayings is my way or the highway is just a turnpike to tyranny. And that's where we are. We have to have our way. And if we don't, then we are now the righteous folks that are going to go shut down the other side. And in some way, and to me, the thing that's righteous to shut down is anybody that interferes with proper functioning of representative government or the people's right to, basically the Constitution when it comes down to it. That's worth fighting about. And when I say fighting, not physically, I mean worth arguing about.
But taking a stand, making that a hill to die on. Yeah.
Right.
I have a couple more questions, but I do want to share with you. Can I share with you my favorite quote from a founding father really quick? Hold on.
Yes.
All right.
He lost his microphone.
This is my favorite quote from a founding father. Hamilton said this to Jefferson. Quote, there are approximately 1,010,300 words in the English language, but I could never string enough words together to properly express how much I want to hit you with a chair. That's my favorite. Two quick questions. The lessons, the things that you've written, that kind of stuff, is that accessible? Is that somewhere that if somebody wanted to read it or get a hold of it, like?
Well, on Facebook, there's if somebody searched, they'd find How Freedom Works. That's a page I created. But the problem is being a full-time judge, I didn't have time to really develop it. And then now we're retired in 30 days of retirement, I didn't have a chance to fully develop it. But if you go on YouTube and search for How Freedom Works and Dave Larson, you'll probably find a video I did after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And then after, we had the legislator in Minnesota that was attacked and that type of thing, or killed. I decided to, because I've been wanting to do it more formal and more professional, but I decided to just do an impromptu presentation of it. And so it's on YouTube. I could potentially send you the link.
Yeah, send us a link.
Yeah, and but it's where I talk about human nature. I talk about free will. I talk about social order, the sources of social order, where they come from, why our form of government was designed the way it was, and to take all those things into consideration and how we want to, the idea of isolating power, having three different branches, and really not wanting power to be the goal, the responsibility really and duty to be the goal. And basically, like I said, that hard pan of freedom. When I spoke before to some folks, I read from a constitution from another country that guaranteed freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, all the rights we have. And I asked people what country it is. And nobody could guess it was communist China.
Oh, wow.
You go look at the communist Chinese constitution, and they have all those rights. Question is, are they words on paper, or they truly mean something? When I taught a class called Street Law at Todd Beamer for about 17 years while I was a judge. I go sometimes twice a week to help teach this class while I was sitting on the bench.
Wow.
So I go first thing in the morning, or I go during lunch, depending on when the class that year when the classes were meeting. But every year when I started the class, I would ask students what's most important in protecting freedom. And they go around the room, police, constitution, courts, whatever. And the answer is the belief that it's important.
Yeah.
Because the minute you stop thinking it's important, it's okay to take your freedom, and there's nobody left to protect mine.
Yeah. And if they're minimizing our freedoms by what they're doing with this court case you were talking about, like, how do we come out of that? Because that's what they're doing. If they're making it so everyone's looking away from the problems that happen in Washington State, how are we getting to the other side of that? Because it's not fair to law-abiding citizens.
Well, first of all, until I told you that, not many people even know that was going on.
I had no idea.
Yeah, and it's a court rule. By the way, the Supreme Court just doesn't decide cases. It sets every court rule for our trial courts. So our trial courts operate based on the rules adopted by the state Supreme Court. There's actually a statute that exists that says if there's a conflict between a court rule and a statute, in other words, a legislature creates a law that has to do with court procedure, that the court's rule controls over the legislatively adopted law that's created, because it's separation of powers. It's you don't get into how courts operate. It's that it's about that. And so the court is basically the Supreme Court's the legislature of the courts when it gets down to it. It creates all the rules we operate from. But really what it comes down to is it's the fact that it's each of us voters.
Right.
And we've been brainwashed into thinking that our job is to install people that will do our bidding against the other side. And you have to pick a side.
Yeah.
You have to get somebody in there so in other words, we've let power infiltrate our halls of government.
I mean,
power and control.
Politics is power and money. Yeah.
Yeah. Power and control. Well, that's what we've come to believe.
Right.
And it is outside of government. But the idea of government is to protect and maintain individual rights, not make sure that one side wins and the other side loses.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when you go to government and expect them to control others, don't be surprised if it feels like tyranny. If it feels like power and control, because it is power and control. And when your goal is to install people in office that are about power and control, because it's your brand of power and control you want in there, then don't be surprised if everybody's fighting about power and control and not about duty and responsibility.
Yeah.
Right.
And so the voters have to be, I think, more aware, and that's why how freedom works is so important, more aware of how government's supposed to work. Anyway.
Do you remember in 2020 when the Supreme Court in Washington ruled on the case about the drug, these aren't my pants?
Right. Yeah. So I was involved with the legislature trying to fix that. Okay.
Yeah.
That was when I ran in 2024. It was 2021, by the way, pretty close though. It was during.
Was it? Okay. 2021. Okay.
But it basically did what our Oregon voters did with the ballot. It basically did the same thing. It legalized drugs because there was no drug law.
Exactly.
And that's part of the reason you saw the uptick in crime and everything else. And really what it comes down to is the response to that. The legislature criminalized it, but bumped it down to be a gross misdemeanor and then bumped down the punishment. And it was a result of compromise on people that didn't want drugs to be illegal and people that wanted them to be illegal. That's how it shook out. And but it goes back to another reason why I'm running, which we have to change the way we interact with these issues in our trial courts. Is I've been a proponent of trying to make our courts. What happens now is when somebody comes in for a theft case and they're charged with theft, they'll get a deal where if they do certain things, the case will be dismissed or whatever, because it's the first offense and we're just going to give you a chance. But it's, to me, when you see, we don't do it much to try to screen people for behavioral health issues at the beginning, the first time they're there. We need to do that, because what ends up happening is that in my court, the prosecutor would always ask for them to go to a class on why theft is bad. And when somebody is in the throes of addiction or mental illness or whatever, going to class on why theft is bad is not necessarily going to make any difference. And so we end up waiting until people are out of control, and then we start throwing resources at them. And we need to be more strategic about how we do that. And that's one of the things I wanted the legislature to do back in 2023. I wrote a paper for them called The Proper Take on Blake, which was to get them to understand that we have to take this graduated strategy approach. And they were only focusing on treatment for people charged with drug offenses. And the point I made to them is, if somebody's arrested for theft and they don't have drugs on them, in a lot of cases is because they're going to steal so they can buy the drugs.
Right.
So you still have to address these other crimes that are associated, in a lot of cases, associated with that, with drug use and addiction. If you don't, but they chose not to include that. But it's in retirement, I'm working with this group out of New York where I'll go around the country to help other communities better manage their criminal justice system using, and don't glaze over too much, don't get bored, but it's called the sequential intercept model, which is the gold standard, which is a more coordinated approach across disciplines, police, courts, jails, probation, to the community itself, to try to make sure there's more of an organized strategy versus a kind of this fragmented approach that we have now.
Judge, I don't normally ever say this, but whether you're elected or not, I would love to sit down and do a series of podcasts with you about almost like a new Federalist Paper podcast where this type of stuff gets talked about, because I think it's become so watered down now that the general electorate, your general citizen, has no idea about any of this stuff. And
they don't want to have any idea, because they feel so disenfranchised. They feel so alienated. They feel like it's not just Washington sausage being made. It's worse, and I told somebody the other day, you shouldn't have to worry about what your government is doing. You shouldn't have to. You should know how to vote for people. But once you vote for people, you should be able to just live in love and not be worried about what government's doing, because government's out there doing what it's supposed to do. And what we already talked about is in Article 1, Section 1, and that it doesn't become, because we've let it devolve to power and control. My hope is that people, once they get educated more on really the beauty of how it's supposed to work, which is probably the best. It's not perfect, but it's the best system's ever been created to recognize the dignity and respect of each individual. And dignity and respect is as important to us as eating, breathing, and sleeping. And I don't care whether you're dealing with City Hall or Department of Licensing or a court, dignity and respect is the fuel that makes freedom possible. The other thing you have to be, and it's this isn't a hoity-toity kind of religious thing. It's just, to be a free person, you have to be a moral, self-governing person. You have to have a desire not to interfere with the lives of other people, yet exercise free will within those confines. And that's how you maintain social order. That's the other point I make, is social order comes either from individual restraint, our ability not to harm others, or it comes from external restraint. When we can't control ourselves, we need more government to come in and control us.
Yeah.
Wow.
So ultimately, yes, that I'll be glad to do it. But because I'm trying to make it so that the website is very educational, and that you can pause it or actually have groups of people get together and talk about these concepts, and basically educate people. So when they're screening candidates, they look more for somebody like me. Here I am. I'm running for office, so look at me. No, somebody like I described that would love the idea of being in the back of a line at a chili cook-off and not expecting special privilege.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, I can't speak for Beal. I will speak for Beal. I think we would both love to do something with that with you in the future. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but don't hesitate.
Yes. Also,
and,
Dave tells the most amazing stories. I could just seriously.
Yeah, I just think, and I think it would be so
racing days and all that.
so important.
So fun to listen to.
Well, I was a trial lawyer for 23 years.
Yeah.
And my job was to convince 12 people to think the same thing, right? And but and in high school I was like shy as I couldn't say more than 2 words, in high school. But somehow I get paid by the word, right?
Yeah.
But I love the idea of and the thing I enjoyed as a trial lawyer is that I could go in and tell the truth to people and win. Because it was always about finding the truth. In fact, in closing arguments, a lot of lawyers felt you had to convince somebody that somebody was lying, and I didn't take that approach. And one of the things I would say is, there's certain absolutes in life, and we can only think of death and taxes, but there's another absolute, and that's the truth. You can be mistaken about it, you can forget it, you can lie about it, you can do a lot of things to it, but it's always the truth. What happened, happened, and what didn't happen, didn't happen. And your job as a jury is not to find my truth, the plaintiff's truth, other lawyers' truth. Your job is to find the truth. And if you're driven by that, then you end up winning, and I won a lot because people detect that you can see it, that you're seeking the truth. And that's what I've done in my judicial career. That's what I'll do on the Supreme Court. And that's my hope is that it's contagious.
That's a good place for us to end this. Dave, listen, true story. Before we had you on, we were talking amongst the crew about how this was going to go. And I said, I cannot imagine that we're going to spend more than 20 minutes with Dave. Because he's a judge. He's running. We can't ask about specific instances. I can't imagine that we're going to go more than 20 minutes. It's been the better part of over 50 minutes. And I wish we had another hour. Let's do this again sometime between now and when we get closer to election cycle again. Let's bring you back on and continue the discussion. This has been great. This has been so enlightening, man. I want to thank you for joining us. If you guys want to find out more about Judge Dave Larson, go to larsonforjustice.com, running for Washington State Supreme Court. Any parting messages for the audience before we wrap this up for this visit?
Well, if I want judicial races to be more front and center. In my race in 2024, there were 700,000 undervotes. That means 700,000 less people voted for our race than they did for governor and president.
Wow.
And because people don't know what to vote for. And the people that are in power right now benefit from the electorate not knowing.
Yeah.
And I think it's incumbent on the judiciary. And if I'm elected, I will make it one of my goals is to make that Judicial Elections Commission a reality, so that the people can have the right to be able to, when they do elect judges, when they vote for judges, they're doing it eyes wide open and making their choice based on their personal preference after they've learned everything they can about what to look for and about the different candidates. Yeah. So that's because I think it's called democracy and representative government, I think is what it's called, and so that's kind of what without that kind of knowledge, how do you expect people? Of course, 700,000 people did the right thing if they didn't know who to vote for by not voting. But the goal is to get as many people as possible, hopefully 100%, to understand, number one, the importance of the judiciary, and number two, why it's important to elect. If a lot of people are advocating for an appointment process, but the reason I'm against that is that all you do is you move the politics of the whole situation behind closed doors, instead of out in the open where the people themselves decide.
Yeah, that's just crony politics, and we don't need that.
No,
right?
Yeah.
And it gets rid of that division of powers too, right? I mean, you're three equal yet separate branches, and if you start appointments, you erode away at that division of powers between the three branches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as the election season approaches and things become more evident, the more things get out there, people will see the frailties, the defects in the current process that we end up with. When it would be, like I said earlier, it would be wrong if I was governor. I would be pushing to have a check and balance, because it'd be wrong even if I was the governor, because I don't think I'm almighty and that I can make the best decisions for everybody. I think everybody should there should be at least a check and balance on that process. So there you go.
All right. Judge Dave Larson, retired, hoping not to be retired, running for Washington State Supreme Court. Dave, we do a segment after we have any of these interviews with anybody running for office. We're going to talk about you behind your back.
Okay.
And so we're going to take a break because Beeler has the bladder of a 12-year-old.
I do.
So we're going to take a break. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop you off into our queue so you're kind of in the spot where you can hear what we're saying and kind of eavesdrop and listen. And if you want, you're more than welcome to leave that. If you want to just go to the Facebook page or listen to us at outlaw.radionetwork.com or whatever.
Or if you don't want to listen,
or if you don't want to hear it, that's totally cool too. But
the thing is maybe I'll listen. I if you can't tell from, I used to be a lineman, so I'm a big guy. So I always tell people I actually only weigh 150 pounds. This is just thick skin from being a lineman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and the thing that one of the things that I said in the past, if you don't want to be criticized, don't run for office. You have to accept the criticism, and sometimes the criticism is right and it makes you better. But I hope that people are kind and gentle, but at the same time, it's perhaps if I listen, maybe I'll learn something. But because I'm 67 years old, and that's one of the reasons I'm running for this seat is if I ran for an open seat, there's 2 open seats. I could only serve 6 years because I'd never run again, because then the governor would be able to, in 2 years after I get elected the second time, the governor would have to appoint somebody to replace me.
Mm-hmm.
This way I serve 2 years unexpired and I can serve another 6. So I'd be able to have the people elect my replacement at the end of my second term. So there you go. Well, I appreciate it. And I will sit here and
eavesdrop.
And eavesdrop to.
Good to see you again, Dave.
Now, everybody that's listening, don't be kind if you don't.
Well, we're gonna welcome comments in the chat. Beals and I will certainly have some. I assume Lori, our CEO, will have some. I don't know if Dennis will, but I'll ask him as well. Yeah. And we'll just leave you in the queue, kind of off to the side, and we'll share our thoughts. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to join us. You again, for the listeners, find out more LarsonForJustice.com. And as the judge said, man, get yourself educated a little bit. Those judge races are important. They are as important to every other kind of state level race that we're voting on, that we're casting our ballot for. And 700 downvotes, that's a big deal, right? That's
700,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of people that thought they were educated enough to vote for governor or for representative, but not on the judgeship. So we're gonna take a vote. We're gonna take a break. We'll let Fields go do what she's got to do, and then Judge, we'll put you off in the queue. We'll talk about you when we come back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again.
And
Larson,
this stuff energizes me.
Awesome. Well, I hope we'll have you on again before the election as well. LarsonForJustice.com. Stick around. More of the show coming back. This is the Outlaw Radio Network. We're back after this. OutlawRadioNetwork.com. Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance, Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin-a-la-carte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Ring Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Ring Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Ring Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional. On a a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network.
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf of
Sometimes
Paul,
I have to
thank you.
mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplaining.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network Sunday night at their new time from 6 to 10.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network, powered by our friends at Destination Highway 420, proudly supporting our veterans in the Bremerton community. Visit them online at destinationhighway420.com. 21 and over.
Cannabis has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Keep out of the reach of children.
Get your popcorn ready. It's the Outlaw Radio Network. It's the Outlaw Radio Network. It's the Outlaw Radio Network. It's the Outlaw Radio Network.
All right, Outlaw Radio. Thanks again to Judge Dave Larson for joining us on the first hour of the show. Paul is in the queue. We're going to bring him on in a minute. But really quick, actually, Paul, I'm looking at you right now. Give a thumbs up if you heard the interview with Judge Larson. If you want to be okay, let's bring him on then too. We do this segment anytime that we have anybody who is running for office that we interview on the show. It's a segment we call Talking About It Behind Their Back. And it really, we'll bring Paul on. We don't ever like to opine about anybody when we're interviewing them. That's not our role, right? Our role is to let them have some room to talk, to share who they are, what they believe, why they're running for office, all of that. But once they're done, it is our job to talk smack about them once they're gone. And so as Paul is with us, Beals is back on the mic. Lori is off to the side. Let's all spend just a few moments talking about Judge Dave Larson. Again, retired, running for Washington State Supreme Court. Paul, welcome to the show. Good to see you, my friend, as you're drinking your septic swill. But really quick, Beeler, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the conversation we just had with Judge Larson running for Washington State Supreme Court judicial role.
He's always just so likable to me. Every time.
So you've been exposed to him before. You've been around or have heard him speak or whatever.
Yeah.
Before?
So he spoke at the Washington State Republican State Committee a couple times in 2020.
Okay.
So that was where I first met him. But I just love listening to him talk. He is so entertaining, and he has the greatest stories. But also, he is so knowledgeable on what it takes to be a judge, which is the Constitution, especially if you're going to be at that level that he's going to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's literally his job, is to interpret the Constitution as it applies to the law. So that's exactly what we need.
For those of you in the chat, by the way, too, I would love to hear your thoughts on him as well. We'll share those. We'll read those out as well. Lori, thoughts?
So I got to know Judge Dave.
And you're the one that booked this, by the
Yes,
way. So
correct.
so kudos to you for doing that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You're
So,
welcome.
nice job.
I got to know Judge Dave through Facebook, 2020 circa, around that time. Both, I think he was running, and then also campaign wise, and then also personally on his personal page. And so, stand-up guy. I really liked some of his posts from when he was a trial judge. Just, his thoughts on things. He would bring up things that had happened in court that he was doing to change, instead of punishing maybe some juveniles, things that, how the system had failed them and how he was trying to get the system to work better for their outcomes.
Right.
And so to me, that was like, okay, this is a person I really want to check out and follow, because he's thinking differently. He's not just thinking in this narrow box, you've done bad, go away from society. You've done okay, you can stay in society. He's really thinking about the person as a whole and what we can do to help them. Still realizing that they have to face whatever punishment.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how I got to know him, and I've followed his career since then. I wish he had won the last time, and I wish I had campaigned for him. I feel bad about not participating in that. So I really hope he gets in this time. But he is a really stand-up person.
Absolutely.
If you get to know him personally, whether it's in person or on his Facebook page, you will see the type of character he is and has.
Yes.
Paul, my co-host, my radio friend for the better part of 27 years, if you can believe that now, as we're in 2026. We started in 99. People will ask, well, why wasn't Paul part of the interview? Simple. Paul was on StreamYard video tonight, and it just creates too much chaos, and we have multiple people doing it at the same time. We didn't want to take away from that. But Paul, I know you listened to the interview. Your thoughts on Judge Dave Larson?
First, let me state that he made me feel so intelligent because he was regurgitating things that we've talked about, right? The uneducated nature of your average voter, right? And at least for me, that's a big deal, man, right? It's impossible to have people understand exactly what it is that they're voting for. We've seen the ramifications of that over the last 5-6 years specifically. But again, short of us using our voices and talking all the time, it's hard to know what to do about that. But hearing a man of his stature in his position running for the position that he's running for, it made me feel, okay, hey, listen, we're hitting the nail on the head. Now we just have to figure out how to disseminate that message and do it in a way that it's meaningful. So that was awesome. He was a breath of fresh air, listening to a man who believed in being, a judge based on the Constitution, not based on what his personal feelings were on issues or how he, leaned on certain issues. He does not strike me as the kind of person that would let his personal feelings or opinions influence a decision one way or another. And that is a big issue in this state right now, right? We all know. I mean, and I caught 75% of that conversation. I don't want to pretend that I caught it all. So if you did discuss this, let me know. But I get the impression that as an individual, if he was a judge on the Supreme Court right now, any decision that he made in reference to the new income tax would be based solely on what the state constitution says and other applicable laws. He would not rule on that based on his personal feelings and the people that are lining his pockets. Which saying.
Is exactly what a Supreme Court justice is supposed to be.
And we did, and I think you missed that part, because we did have a conversation with him about that, where he said, and I even asked him too, like, how do you do that? Like, how do you separate yourself and your personal feelings out as you view these cases you're going to have to rule on? And he said, really, it takes effort. It is a commitment. It is a commitment to separate yourself, to really focus on the nuance of the law and not how he personally would feel about it. So he did speak about that early in the interview.
Yeah. Let me draw a comparison for you, Kevin. It'd be like you and I doing the show as pure journalistic standard, right? Where we take our personal opinions out of it. And how many times have we said, hey, there's nobody out there practicing journalism that isn't injecting their own opinion into issues, right? Like, he has been able over the years to teach himself to take his own opinion out of the equation, which frankly we need a whole lot more of.
Yeah.
You all right there, Beeler? You got a
Yeah,
weird look on
no. Jander can. I'll read his comment here in a little bit. I'm not.
I can't see anything. I'm banned.
Yeah,
Right.
somehow Lori got shadow banned from our own page. I don't know how that happened. Thank you, Facebook. Listen, Paul, I want to echo what you said, and listen. Here's the deal. When we interview anybody, I always try to come at it with a very cautious mind, right? Because I think anybody can get behind a microphone and answer questions in a way that is what we want to hear, which may not necessarily always be the truth. And so every time we interview anybody, that's always the brain mode that I'm in. Like, boy, it sounds good, but how does it translate? How is it really going to operate? And some of that is because we've seen elected people before. I'm talking about you, Patty Murray. I'm talking about you, Josh Brown. People that got elected, and the minute they got elected, they forgot what got them elected, right? So I'm always really, really leery, right? I was trying to think about how to best phrase how I thought about this interview. It's not very often I'll say I got a dude crush on a candidate. but listening to him talk and explain the importance of the Constitution and explain the importance of impartiality and explain the importance of what a judge does. And the fact he readily acknowledges most voters don't have any clue because we don't spend a lot of time as an electorate learning about what the judges do, who the candidates are. We know from election after election after election in this district who Michelle Caldeer was or is, who Jesse Young or who Spencer Hutchins or who, because we hear them, they run campaign ads and there's a lot of time invested in hearing from them and who they are. We don't give that same breadth of time to understanding who the judges are. I could not, and as I told him too, I thought, man, this is going to be this will be a 20-minute interview. How much can we really talk about? We can't dig into specific issues because he's a judicial candidate. I thought it would be pretty dry. That dude is so knowledgeable and so smart and so connected with what he has done for his entire adult life, right? I could not have been more impressed. Now, I'm not endorsing him, right? We got a lot of ways to go between now and the elections, right? And we don't always do endorsements on this show. But I will tell you that I am so excited about him as a candidate after having spent the last 50 minutes with him. I hope we have him on again. And I hope that even outside of the confines of him running for office, that there is further, I would love just to sit
around a fire with him.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And again, I'm belittling myself a lot in this. People talk about, you always want to sit at the foot of your master, right? People who know what they're talking about, have lived it, have experienced. I would love to sit and just listen to him share what he has learned state constitutional wise, nationally, within law, within court, within justice, within all of that. And I don't think you can knock what he would bring to the bench at a state Supreme Court level, especially as he shared right now, there's 2 trial judges.
Yeah.
And the rest are not. The rest they've been lawyers, but they haven't been a judge. They haven't run through a trial system. And that's really important, right? That's so key to what we want to have in that office.
Yeah. Let me inject here. Because one of the things that I found so interesting about some of his statements is when he talks about how people are uneducated and they don't know what they're voting on and they don't understand the issues. I think that this country and this state in particular is in dire need of having people like Dave have a voice and use it and be heard, because I think too many times in today's world with Facebook and other social media outlets, right? People hear a decision, it comes down, and they cheer and they clap and they parade their victory through the streets, but they have zero clue or understanding of why the decision came down the way it was, right? Yeah. And we need judges to not be silenced after they make a ruling. I want to hear what a judge's thought process was. I want to know why certain judges ruled the way they did on certain things. I think it's the best way to hold them accountable as well, right? Because how many judges have we seen over the last 10, 15 years that have ruled based on their political affiliation, based on their own ideology, right? They're advocating from the bench for policies that they want, not necessarily following the rule of law. And, to his point, talking about how the judiciary has a responsibility to be heard. I think that is so incredibly important. We hear about these Supreme Court decisions come down, but we don't hear from the judges, right? Except in the affirm position or the negative position, right? We read their paper, but that's all we have. And very rarely do people get to hear what the Supreme Court justices have to think, or for that matter, federal judges, or Ninth District Court of Appeals judges, right? We don't ever get to hear what their reasoning was behind their decisions. And people don't understand shit. Most people are so ignorant of all of the issues that go into these court cases, and then they make up their own stuff. And 3/4 of the people out there, no offense, but they're so dumb, they're so easily influenced that they just look at these, social media memes and they just go with it.
Yeah.
Well, I saw a meme that said this, right? It must be true. I read it on the internet. And it behooves us all to listen to people that come from Dave's perspective and let him speak his piece, man. And I absolutely appreciate that about him.
I always try to come back with something to push back with a candidate when I have them on, even if I really like them, right? I don't remember who it was, but a couple of weeks ago we had somebody on that I liked, but I had concerns, right, about presentation and whatever, right?
Rick Goose or Brandon?
I don't know.
Would have been one of them.
I just listening to him talk is refreshing.
It is.
It is what I would have hoped to have heard from any elected person, any candidate for any elected office. A knowledge about how things work, a knowledge about the background, a knowledge about the legal of law, a knowledge, all of it, and to communicate it in such a way that even an idiot like me, shut up, Beeler, even an idiot like me can understand it and grasp it. And I think it's, and that's why I hope I can come across the stuff that he had online, and some of the constitutional stuff and I hope to come across that. So again, if you want to find out more, Dave Larson, you can find him at larsonforjustice.com. Guys, do the research. The most important that you can do, especially in these, what I'll call an uncelebrated case, right? You're not going to see a lot of ads for it. There's not a lot of PAC money going in, whatever, right? There isn't a lot of push for people to know. You're not going to hear a lot of interviews, right? Go educate yourself. Go read what they're saying, what they believe in. Find out about their experience. Do you want somebody in office that's never been a trial judge before? You want them to be running a trial as a Supreme Court justice in the state of Washington with all the stuff? With Supreme Court justice in the state of Washington? Do you want somebody who hasn't been a trial judge before in that role? With all the stuff that we're dealing with, all the stuff that's about to come to them. Look, not only the millionaire tax is going to go there, that's going to go there for sure. But they passed a whole bunch of other bills in the state over the last 9 months.
Are you okay? You're sweating right now.
It's really warm in here. I don't know why. There's so many bills that have been passed in the last 9 months that are going to make their way to the state Supreme Court. This is an instrumental part of the state's history. You have to consider who's going to be the judges up there, their breadth of experience, what have they done, where have they been. I'm really enamored with the guy. I can't wait to learn more.
This is the second week in a row that you've had a man crush.
Well, who did I have a man crush on last week?
It was Paul last week.
Oh,
we're all up on each other.
I know. I love Paul. All right. Anyway, again, one last time, larsonforjustice.com. Lori's going to reach out to him as well. We're going to see if we can get him on again before the election.
I already did.
Did you?
He's
Awesome.
all in.
Thank you.
He's
Awesome.
all in on the new Federalist Papers type.
I think it'd be great. And it's, Beeler's got a master's in public administration,
public policy, and political science.
And political science. I've got my bachelor's in political science, and I've almost got my master's in biblical theology. I think we could do a really cool compilation, different angles on and talking. I just a series. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it'd be wonderful. So we'll have to work it out.
Because one of us,
there's no money in it, by the way.
It would be really great for our website.
But listen, there's no money in it.
Right.
Nobody's going to sponsor. Let's talk about Federalist Papers 2026. There's no money in that. But the importance of those discussions,
it really
is so massive.
Yeah.
And if the three of us, me, you, and Judge Larson, put together, and Paul, if he wanted, I don't want to throw Paul under the bus, but had a conversation in a way that affected one voter, and they woke up one day with a better understanding when they cast their vote, that's the win. That's the win. All right.
It is. Well, and let me
Shannon
just throw
said,
this in, Kevin.
hold on. Shannon said in chat really quick too, I like that he focuses on the truth and what he brings to the table versus slandering his opponents. Yeah. Do you notice what he never did?
He never talked bad about the guy.
He never talked about it. But the only thing he said was he doesn't have trial experience.
Yeah.
And that's not an accusation, or that's a statement of fact. He was never a trial judge. That's a statement of fact. He didn't say the dude's a horrible human being. He's probably a horrible dad or a horrible, nothing. He didn't say any of that. The only thing he said was he's never been a trial judge.
Yeah.
And then everything else he talked about was himself. That's integrity, man.
Yeah.
In a world where people run for office and all they do is talk about their opponent, not themselves, he did the exact opposite. I like.
Yeah, he really did.
Go ahead, Paul. I'm sorry.
All I was going to say was, would as an individual, as a voter here in Western Washington, would you rather listen to somebody like Judge Larson speak and have a conversation with a couple of, podunk radio show hosts, or would you rather listen to Tara Simmons or one of these other elected politicians who can't get enough of microphones and TV cameras, to espouse their position and tell you how bad one group or another is, right? I mean, there's such a diametrically opposed idea of what America is all about between the two groups, between Judge Larson, Yes?
Of course people should go with the fucking redneck radio show. Come on. That goes without saying.
The redneck
Paul,
radio show.
Where did the redneck radio show come from?
You literally just said it.
Because you talked about two guys on a podunk radio show, and Beeler's like, of course they go with the podunk radio show.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I got it. That's just
Good Lord, man.
LarsonForJustice.com. Do some research, guys. Okay.
Yeah. That's just
All right,
Beeler's sense of humor. But I give her a pass.
Switch gears? You guys good to switch gears?
It's better than your humor,
Roger.
sucker.
Paul's hilarious. Have you seen him naked? Okay, listen.
No, I haven't. Thank God.
No, thanks.
Listen, we're at
If
day
you've ever
16.
seen Kevin cry.
We're at day 16
I
of
thought
the.
we were going to read some comments.
I did. That was the only comment we had in the chat about him specifically. Unless you guys saw the ones I didn't see.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Okay.
Kevin Nelson said K-Dog has had a man crush on Paul since Bill Clinton was in the Oval Office. Stop it. J.
He pictures him in a blue dress.
J. Andrew Kennedy said that he's feeling hot. He was just watching Cops. I'm not sure what that's all about.
Bad boys. Bad boys.
Yeah, J. Andrew Kennedy says Tom's sexual tones would be a great addition to the vibes tonight. Yeah, he's off. It's his dad's birthday. By the way.
Yeah, did you notice that he made a comment about everybody but me?
He's afraid of you. By the
He
way,
should be very afraid.
if you want to see how into the show tonight Dennis is, there's Dennis. There's Dennis. Taking a nap on our couch. Yeah, there's Dennis. He's really into tonight's show.
I love it.
All right. Day 16
Okay.
of what's going on with Iran.
Yes.
Trump came out today, and this is where he starts to lose me, guys. Trump comes out today and says, well, we got to get the Strait of Hormuz open. He's not wrong. We got to get the Strait of Hormuz open. I'm probably going to delay my trip to China, and there's really bad complications coming for Europe if they don't help me get it open. This was a president who went into Iran without consulting with Europe first. To come back after the fact and now all of a sudden say, hey, by the way, Europe, you guys better do something or bad stuff's going to happen. You didn't care what they thought before you went into Iran in the first place. You can't really come back now and start crying to them that they need to get involved now. You didn't consult them. Like, you started this with Israel. You and Israel need to finish it. Now, I don't know how you finish it.
Hold on, Kevin.
Go ahead.
You're saying he did not consult any allies in Europe?
I'm saying that he did not partner up with Europe until after the fact. He did not ask Europe permission.
See, those are two different issues,
he did not partner up with Europe until after the fact. Whether or not he consulted with them, I don't know.
Right.
I do know that. Yeah.
You know what? We've saved their asses plenty of times. It's time for them to help us. Damn it. Especially France.
Hello,
you
France.
Fucking pussies.
France. They already surrendered to Iran, by the way. Did you know that? France has already surrendered to Iran. And the Russians. Just so you know. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, first of all, don't knock on France too much. Yes, we've saved their asses twice, but they also helped create our nation. So here's the point, dude.
Yeah, Lafayette.
We
buddies
don't
with
know.
Hamilton, but go ahead.
Go ahead,
By the way,
Paul.
you're
Sorry.
You literally could not be more gay. Do you know that?
Stop it.
Just bringing up Hamilton. Just stop, Kevin. I love you. So just stop.
The greatest founding father.
No, he was not.
Hold on.
But
can I tell you what? Can I tell you why he was?
Oh, we've already heard it.
Whether you agree with the financial system or not that this country operates on, whether you agree with it or not, is irrelevant.
You mean the one that was set up?
Hold on.
Not the one that operates today.
Well, but everything about our financial system was started by Hamilton, whether you like it or not.
It was based on Hamiltonian economic policy.
Yes,
it was.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
but it's evolved.
But it has evolved. And how many people
Changed.
understand what
And changed,
Hamiltonian
yes.
economic policy is anyway? Nobody. No, you don't.
Yes, I do. I'm a student of history. Go ahead, Paul. Talk about Iran.
No. But here's so I'm not even taking umbrage with what you said, Kevin. I'm just saying I don't think any of us know what conversations took place before the invasion or before the war happened. I guarantee you there were conversations, right? Because some of those European countries refused to allow the U.S. fighters to refuel or refueling planes to take off from different. So they knew it was coming, right? We don't know what those conversations were all about. And I am a firm believer that everything that we are seeing from Trump today is as a direct result of him and the Hamiltonian economic policies trying to rewrite the post World War II order. Okay, because that post World War II economic order was all about London. It was all about the big banks controlled by, frankly, Jewish people. And it is a very contrived, very long, in-depth topic, right? Like it's literally an hour-long conversation all on its own, and I'm not going to get into it right now. But I just ask people to stop and understand that a lot of what you're seeing Trump do right now with regards to Iran and other issues, he's forcing the colonial powers, right? The colonial vestige powers that came about and had complete control of the banking cartels, the banking systems, that was all centered in London, all of it.
Yeah.
And Trump is very clearly, he's taking that power back because NATO, our European allies, it's not that they're not our allies, but he's forcing them to rethink their banking structure, because up until recently, they have literally forced countries to stay at war around the world because it's profitable for them.
Yeah.
Right? That's been it in a nutshell. That has been the entire cartel that has controlled the world. And he is forcing that to basically be completely reworked. That's why he's like, yeah, I want Greenland. It puts pressure on the banks of the bank in London, the banking cartels. And again, this is a very deep topic, and I can't stress it enough. I tell people, please go do your own research on it, because you'll learn a ton. And it's all very real. You never hear about it in the news because, trust me, Anderson Cooper can't talk about that. Wolf Blitzer doesn't know what the hell he's talking about on this subject. I don't want to pretend that I do, but at least I study it and I try to understand it. It's where I learned all about, the Hamiltonian economic policies and how he was kind of pushed out in favor of what we have now, which is an unelected, uncontrolled national bank that controls our debt. They control our finances. You have one organization that nobody controls that literally has control over how much you pay for everything. Everything.
Preach.
Yeah.
And it's not a good system. Yeah.
We should have never set up the banking system.
Well,
Agreed.
but again, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't have. I'm just saying his fingerprint is on this country as much, if not more, than any other founding father, just because of his influence in the financial system. Paul,
Just don't push it.
In regards to Iran, though,
yeah,
I don't understand it. And again, I'm going to sound dumb.
Probably.
I don't understand why the Strait of Hormuz is an issue, because it's not a huge body of water. How are the Iranians able to even mine that? Like, we have air and sea superiority. Shouldn't we be able to deal with them accordingly before they can even get a mine out there?
No, because what they're using civilian fishing boats to drop these mines. They'll have fishing boats go out with 2 or 3 mines on them, and they'll drop them out the back at night. And unless you've got a drone looking directly at that boat, remember, those mines are cold, and you're using white hot and dark hot. You're using thermal imaging systems to see it. And guess what? Those mines are cold. You don't see anything. Like, unless you're in broad daylight looking at that boat, you don't know that they're putting a mine in the water. This is not a simple issue. And mines are World War II technology, right? Maybe even World War I. This goes back a long time, but you know what it is? It's effective enough to shut down a narrow waterway that's a choke point. It's only 31 miles across. So now I've heard speculation that apparently the Trump administration had not given any pre-thought to this or how they were going to deal with it. I don't think that that's even remotely true. I think they were probably hoping to remove that problem before it became one. Right.
Right.
So you want me to wait while you guys are reading the phone there?
No,
We were
she was
looking at
showing
a
me,
map.
she was showing me a map of the strait.
Jeez, man, we like visuals. Chill the hell out.
I was just showing the visuals so that they could understand where Dubai is as part of the Strait of Hormuz.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just the strait and the shipping; it's also Dubai and all the money there.
Right.
Right. And you don't want to blow something up.
Well, what is it? You're saying that they want to protect the rich folks in Dubai. We don't want something to accident, because if I understand correctly, Dubai has taken more incoming missile and drone strikes than anybody else. Is that correct?
I'm
not sure.
I have not heard that.
They've taken a bunch though, including
read it.
you can't see it. It glares out when you put it up there.
Okay, never mind.
Including in their really richy bougie part of Dubai, where all their skyscrapers and all the rich people are. They've taken
and
a
their
bunch of
homemade
missiles
islands.
and- yeah.
And you mean where the women don't have to wear hijab?
Well, that's where I'm going. Paul, but okay, we're 2 weeks in. When this started, Trump said we're looking at 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm not trying to Monday morning quarterback this because they know way more things than we do.
Well, and I never heard them say that, to be completely honest with you. I never heard him put any kind of a timeline on it.
I thought I heard him say 2 to 3 weeks, he thought.
He may have. I'm only saying that I never heard him
Right.
put a timeline on it. So
Does it become Does it become more and more obvious that in order for this mission to be successful, boots on the ground are going to have to happen? I'm not asking for boots on the ground. I'm saying if this is going to work, doesn't it become more and more obvious that boots are going to have to happen?
Well, if that's going to happen, he's going to need a declaration of war from Congress, and I don't think he'll get it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a fork, and I think he knows that, right? So he keeps, tacitly issuing that threat behind the scenes, right? Oh, well, I'm not going to rule anything out. Meanwhile, Congress is going, F you, dude. We're not going to give you permission to do that because remember, the War Powers Act gives them 60 days plus 30, right? 60 days to, basically go for whatever he's trying to do, and then 30 days to back out of it and remove U.S. forces from whatever is going on. And that's it. Anything more than that, you need a declaration of war, right? So I think that he's got plenty of intelligent people around him. And if he's going to dedicate ground troops, I think he only does it with a declaration of war. And quite frankly, anything other than that would be, well, and you know what? I would say political suicide, but maybe he doesn't care. He's not running again.
Yeah.
Midterms.
But anybody that thinks that Trump isn't thinking what happens after he is out of office, no, I promise you, he's absolutely thinking about that because in the back of his mind, what the Democrats have already done to him, you don't think that if a Democrat comes into the presidency that they ain't going to go for him?
Oh yeah, they will.
Right. They
They're
absolutely
already
will.
talking about it for midterms.
And he does care about his legacy. I mean, he does care about the legacy of what he's going to leave behind. That's something that's important
For
to him.
sure. For sure.
I just if this doesn't work though, let's pretend that Trump has completely underestimated Iran's resiliency, and Iran we don't see a regime change. Aren't they just more emboldened at that point? I mean, I know we've kicked the crap out of them. We've blown up a whole bunch of their stuff. We've disabled their Navy and their missiles and stuff. But if that regime doesn't topple, aren't they just more emboldened after this? If they can stand up to their people and say, the angry evil empire tried to knock us down and we're still here and we're not going anywhere.
I think the answer, at least to me, in my perspective, yes and no is the answer, right?
Oh my God, I was
yes,
just thinking that.
They're going to be more.
Like
tell me if this is
here.
what you think, Professor. Tell me if this is your thought process.
All right.
I think more emboldened in their own country, yes. But they are going to be less emboldened on an international scale, right? Because they've supported the Houthis, they've supported Hamas, they've supported the folks in Lebanon, Hezbollah, right? I think that those aspirations quickly come to an end. They're the number one state sponsor of terror in the world, and I think when this is over, if their administration isn't taken out, I do not think that they take that route again. Because I don't because we've already proven, we know enough about you. We know who's in power. We know where you're at. We have the maps. Like we know everything about you, and we have spies on the ground, right? If you don't play ball with the international community, we'll obliterate you again. Like it literally took a week to wipe out their entire Navy. We had a submarine sink one of their ships. Like, are you kidding me? That hasn't happened since World War II.
Yeah.
Like this is so David versus Goliath. But the thing is, David won, right?
Yeah.
Not big Goliath. And so I don't have any foregone conclusions that this is an easy cakewalk of a victory without troops on the ground. But if we put troops on the ground, I think that we'll kick ass even more. But then you're going to have to explain the body bags.
Yeah.
And that's where public
I just don't wanna
perception
see
shifts
that
big time.
again.
Yeah, I don't want it either. Listen, I disagree with you, Paul, in the sense that I think that they continue to be a major state sponsor of terror. They've done very well for themselves, funding Hamas and Hezbollah to screw with Israel, so they didn't have to.
You're right, Kevin. Where'd that money come from? Pallets of cash on an airplane.
Well, that and their oil reserves, and but all I'm saying is they've done very well for themselves to keep themselves insulated for the most part from Israel and allow really dirt poor nations of people to fight for them against Israel. I can't imagine they'd go back on that. Although I'm a little surprised that they've taken the track they've taken with all the other Gulf states and launching missiles into Bahrain and Qatar and Dubai, and I thought that they would stop that and just focus on American forces. But
they did apologize for it,
and then they launched more missiles.
Yeah, they basically laid it at the feet of Israel and the United States and said, any country that's allows them airspace to run their attacks against Iran, you're a legitimate target. Your civilian population centers are legitimate targets. It's nothing but excusatory, and I think that whoever the leadership is at any given time in Israel or in Iran knows darn good and well their name's at the top of the hit list, because U.S. foreign policy has clearly changed. Because our foreign policy used to be, we did not execute foreign leaders. Like we would not send in hit teams. We would not try to take out the leader of a foreign nation, right? Well, that's clearly changed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we're not shy about
Andrew
doing it.
Kennedy, this shit is putting people to sleep. Hey, J. Andrew, including Alicia.
Stop it. Well, what would you like to talk about, Beeler?
I don't know. Can we just make it a little more exciting?
I don't know.
And
We're talking
war?
about potentially sending tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of American troops into Iran, but that's not exciting enough
It
for
is
you?
a very, very important topic. I'm not
Very.
belittling the topic by stating that. I'm saying that the way we are talking is very boring, especially after just having Dave on, who regaled us.
Oh my God. Hey, Paul, did you know that when we brought Beeler on, her main role was just going to be to belittle us unmercifully?
Is that what that is? That's not.
I've quickly gotten that in, but it does explain why she's single.
Yeah,
All right,
well,
moving
that among
on.
other things. That
You
among
think
other things.
she is? You don't know, though.
Here, I know because it's
No,
what
I
you
don't
said
know.
before the
I don't
show.
know. But we got to give it back as good as we get it.
But here's a question, Paul. Here's the question.
Yeah.
What? No, that doesn't mean shit.
It clearly does.
It does not mean shit.
Paul, here's the question.
Yeah.
What's the path forward then? How does this scenario get resolved in a way that benefits what the United States was hoping for when we started it in the first place? Because I have one way that this gets fixed.
It's a good question, and here's why. Because I think short of putting boots on the ground, we've done about as much damage as we can do to them. So unless you're happy leaving it like it is right now, the only rational outcome is to take our young men and women, put their boots on the shores of Iran, and let them do their job. Basically, my point is that we have to take the gloves off, because as it is right now, we've been punching down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if that doesn't work, if the little guy's tough and he's not going down, well, then you got to go meet him at his own level.
See, I have another alternative idea for you.
Okay.
We need to coordinate with
Make it exciting,
Saudi
Kevin.
Arabia. We need to coordinate with Saudi Arabia and Jordan and the other nations in the Middle East and have them submit their armies and do it with U.S. support. They handle their own regional
luck with that.
skirmish.
I
The
don't
U.S.
disagree.
doesn't set up any new military bases out there. They do what they need to do, but we don't put any of our troops on the ground. That would be my...
Let me throw something at you. There is not
An
an
egg?
Arab military
tomato?
that is as U.S. personnel are concerned. There's not an Arab military force that they would want to see next to them on the ground. They are second.
No, we
and
wouldn't be on the
third rate
ground. We
on a
would
good day.
provide air support.
No.
Maybe some missile fire coverage from subs or frigates, but we would not be on the ground with them.
Let me rephrase that for you. Iranian troops have, years and years and years of ground combat experience. 6 out of every 10 deaths of a U.S. military person in Iraq was due directly to Iranian subterfuge and actions that they took, okay, through IEDs and other and missile attacks and stuff like that. 6 out of 10. These people that are making the claim that Trump started this war with Iran, bullshit. That's ignorance talking. We've been at war with Iranians for 47 years.
Yeah, we have. Yep.
And so this notion, like, the easiest way that I can put it is we've done the damage we can do. And if I'm, a U.S. Marine or current active duty Army, and I'm told to go into Iran, I don't want the Saudis with me or the Kuwaitis.
Right.
I don't want those guys on the ground with me. They are wholly inadequate for the job.
Well, again, but that's what I'm saying. We don't put any of our men and women in uniform on the ground. We're going to provide air. We provide air support and air cover, and we let Saudis send their army in.
Sure. Well, we've already done that. They don't have an Air Force left. They don't have a Navy left. All they have is ground combat troops. Okay. The only way to remove those combat troops is by putting boots on the ground and going in and rooting them out. My point is that the Iranians are far superior in their knowledge on and their tactics, because they spent 10 years in war against Iraq, dude. Right. And they've been in a constant state of near war with us while we were in Iraq. I'm just saying the militaries, the Arab militaries that surround Iran, the ones that you're talking about having them join the American forces, are not adequate, not even close. So they
one last question.
Yeah.
One last question, then we'll get into something that gets Beeler's heart.
No, we don't need to get anything that gets my heart pumping. I was relaying something from the audience, Paul.
Have you heard anything from China or Russia? Have they made? I haven't heard any statements from them on this specifically. Have you?
Yeah, Putin thinks that we just opened the door for him, so he can take his gloves off now. Nothing has changed there in Ukraine, so I would say that's just more bluster by Putin. The only thing that gives the Russians any clout on the world stage right now, the only thing, is the power granted to them by the former Soviet Union because they built a lot of nukes.
Mm-hmm.
That's their only leverage, because their military is shit.
There's such a dying that nation to me feels like the Hungarian Empire at the end, right? Just slowly whittling away, losing its grip, losing its power, losing its threat. And I think you're right. If they didn't have nukes, they'd be a non sequitur at this point.
They'd be a third world country, man.
Yeah, they can't even beat Ukraine. How are they going to go up against NATO or the United States? Margie said the KGB. I don't know what that means, Margie. They have great secret police within their own borders, but they're not a threat anywhere else. Unless you're a defector in Europe and they poison you and your daughter, which they did.
China, once again, has positioned themselves as diplomatic powerhouse, if you will. So I think that they're trying to portray themselves similar to how the U.S. was back in the 80s and 90s, as diplomacy first, all of that.
The level heads in the room, the big kids in the room.
Yeah.
Which is
like a power play.
Isolationists. I mean, there's a fine line that we can get to between the two. That would be just perfect. But it seems like we go one extreme or the other.
Yeah. And China's smart.
Yeah.
Right. They want to look like the level heads in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a really intelligent, real way to play it.
Yeah.
They know that they really don't have any interest in what goes on in Iran, with the exception of their association with Iran through BRICS. But they're not, they don't ship a lot through the canal, through the Suez Canal, because they're on the Pacific.
Hormuz.
No, the Suez Canal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Suez Canal. They don't do much in the Suez Canal. They don't do much of anything through the Strait of Hormuz. For them to try to look at the big kids in the room on the world stage will be good for them in the long term.
Yeah.
Because they got a lot of flaws. The Chinese economy is crap, and it's inflated, and it risks it bursting a bubble anytime. But if they can be like the big kids in the room, then they can keep the bubble inflated a little bit longer.
Goodwill.
I think it stands to reason that it's important to your question about China or Russia. I think China is probably the smartest kid in class, and they're keeping their mouths completely shut.
Mm-hmm.
And I would not put it past them to be sitting there in that dark little corner of the room, waiting and hoping shit goes south. Because again, all they're looking for is the right opportunity. They have pledged to their people that they are going to reunite Taiwan and China, but they can't do it while the United States has one hand free. They need both hands tied behind our back to do it.
True.
So,
well, but hold on. But I even think it's simpler than that, Paul. They won't do it while Trump's in office because they know that Trump will respond.
Mm-hmm.
They might do it if a Democrat's in office. If it was Biden or Harris or somebody like that, they might do it then because I don't know if anybody has any faith that a Democrat president would go into the White House and decide to commit military forces in defense of Taiwan. Donald Trump is just too much of a wild card for them to have any clue what the fuck he would do. You know what I mean? Like, who knows?
True.
Trump might give the finger to Taiwan and say, screw you guys. I don't care. Or he might launch a nuke. Who the hell knows? The dude is bad crap crazy.
Okay. But I the Chinese are going to be extremely tactical. If they do anything, they're going to wait for what seems to be the right moment. Because they can look at Donald Trump and say, we can't predict what he's going to do. But you know what they can predict? They know exactly how many ships we have. They know exactly how many planes we have. They know exactly how many troops we have, right? And they will watch our deployments.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would almost guarantee you that while we're fighting in Iran, if things escalated in Ukraine, I do not be at all shocked if China said, nope, now's the time. Because we are not equipped to fight on 3 fronts. We're barely equipped to fight on 1 front right now. And it used to be.
I mean, we could always let the transgenders back in and send them over there.
Stop it.
Well, they'll simply encourage the enemy to fight harder.
John Walker said to send lawyers, guns, and money. So essentially, John wants Judge Dave Larson to go over there and handle it because he's the lawyer. He had to be a lawyer to become a judge.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's.
I know. I'm being funny.
Too.
I'm being hilarious.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
What? Oh, that was so bad. I left out a few words in that. Damn it.
What?
About the transgenders, the ones that Trump kicked out of the military.
Oh, yeah.
Is what I was talking about. Not just transgenders in general. I don't feel that way.
Breaking news. Beeler wants to institute an immediate transgender draft. If you are a transgender, you are immediately drafted into the U.S. military. That's what Beeler's all for.
Not what I was saying.
Wait till your students find out.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
Wait till your students.
That is not what I meant.
Paul, we should show up and protest outside of our classroom tomorrow. Beeler hates trans people. Beeler wants trans people as cannon fodder. Bad Beeler. Yeah.
Kevin, if her students ever find out she's a political commentator and that she's a conservative, her career's over.
No doubt about it. I don't even know how I got hired.
They don't know you do a show? No, you haven't talked about it at all?
Why would I?
Same
I
thing.
just said pussy on air.
Yeah. I don't talk about it either.
You don't say that in class?
Why would I?
I don't know. I mean,
no, she's not.
Beeler would say to me, Kevin, do you know what a beta does? A beta is not consistent in who they are all the time. They are not the same here as they are there. And I'm just suggesting that if you're not consistent in all aspects, it calls to mind if we really know who you are.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
Well, I'm going to tell her I think she does a badass job on this show. And it's a pleasure having her voice on here because in a lot of ways, she's more forceful getting her opinion across to you, Kevin, than I am because she can hit you and get away with it. And she's more to the right than I am in a lot of ways. And I didn't feel I did an adequate job of representing the Republican side of things because I'm not a Republican, but I think the professor is a dyed-in-the-wool, a true conservative Republican. I tip my hat to her for that, and I think it's great to have her voice be heard. A strong, powerful female voice is just as important as a strong, powerful male voice, and I don't think we have enough of those strong female voices that need to be heard. So you put her and Lori in the same room, even though Lori ran as a Democrat, we don't hold that against her. And it works out well for the listeners, I think, because they get those varying opinions and views.
Just remember this lesson in ass kissing brought to you by
Paul.
Black Ring Spirits.
Paul,
do you
thank
need to kiss ass? A nice stiff drink from Black Ring Spirits will help. Black Ring Spirits.
Kevin,
get your ass kissing on.
And
Yes,
if
Paul?
that doesn't work, our
Kevin.
other sponsor, Destination Highway 420, can get you high as
we'll help you in.
What, Paul?
I was going to say they could help you endure that ass kicking. So, hey, I know we're going to the top of the hour. Alicia, can you give us a quick repeat on the live event that we have coming up at Highway 420?
Oh yeah, on 418 they're having a 420 event. They're bringing in vendors from different retailers, not retailers, like the farms where they, the companies that sell the different types of marijuana.
Suppliers.
Yes, suppliers.
I've actually got 4 people that I've invited to come to that event that are going to come check it out.
That's
and I'm looking
rad.
forward to it for them.
There's the flyer that John gave me.
Perfect.
I'm actually going to make an appearance early in the day. That day, I'll be there early. I have the big
I love
WrestleMania
it.
party.
It's just like Star Wars.
I have the big WrestleMania party at my house that afternoon, but I'll be down there in the morning when they open up the event.
And
so
I'll
I
be
can
coming
check
to your
and say
house
hi.
after I'm down there helping them out, Kev. So it'll be a fun day all the way around. And then
Absolutely.
tomorrow night there's a big event as well. For those that aren't aware, at the Trayston Movie House at 6:30, Tim Iman, Sheriff Keith Swank from Pierce County, as well as Rick Coos are going to be speaking to the Puget Sound Patriots. All are welcome, and they're going to be talking about the new laws going into effect.
Awesome. There's another big event coming up at Tracy Movie House on Thursday night. A Funny Night Out will be making its monthly return.
There he is. That is right.
At 9:30, we're going to talk to a couple of the comedians that'll be performing at that event. So we'll have them join us
That's
in about
awesome.
a half an hour.
Great job, Dennis, in getting those guys. Great job.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully
and then
they'll
on
be
the
as nice to you, Paul, as the last guy we had on the show that was in
right,
entertainment.
if off. And on the 22nd, so next Sunday we will have on Mrs. Fox, who's running for District 6. She's running for Congress.
Yep, Congress. Yeah.
Congress. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and I won't be in the studio for that, right?
We know. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm
I'll try to
working
call
at
in, though.
we're working the weekends at the paintball field because we're having a grand opening finally. We've had a soft open for the last 9 months, but we're gonna have a grand opening. We've got 2 new fields we're working on getting ready. So
I can't wait to go play some paintball.
You know what? After we have the
I've
grand
never played
opening,
paintball. I'm trying to pump it up for you, Paul. Come on.
No, No, you're coming out and you're playing because we're gonna have the whole crew go out there and play a game together.
Hell yeah, I am gonna fucking nail you, Kevin.
Perfect.
Yes, you can shoot him and get away with it.
Just what I've.
You better wear a cup, brother.
Just what I've always wanted to hear.
But tell Dennis,
I'm going to nail you.
Tell Dennis he's not getting out of playing. I'm going to get him out there. He's going to play paintball with us.
Yeah, Dennis, you're playing.
He said, okay. All right, let's take a break.
yeah.
Beeler's doing a little pee dance over here next to me. The 12-year-old bladder's acting up. We'll take a break. We come back. 1 more hour of the show to go. We'll figure out what we're
And in
gonna talk
30
about.
minutes, we've got a couple. I'll get off and listen in 30 minutes. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
I will remove myself from the screen in 30 minutes.
And while we're on break, we'll have a conversation about what we're going to talk about that Beeler doesn't find boring. Maybe we'll talk about.
There's so much.
hair and makeup and
It
nails.
wasn't that the topic was boring. It's just how it was being talked about.
The presentation, phrasing, and presentation.
And it didn't come from me. It came from the chat room. So get over yourself.
It came from J. Andrew Kennedy, who's only happy if I'm going to read his comments after the top of the hour as
There
well
was
about
some Z's after that.
about what
From
he
TJ.
does while he listens to Paul talk. That will nullify any other comments he has. Stick around, Outlaw Radio.
Pleasure.
We're back after this break. It's Outlaw Radio
To you,
Network.
Paul. He's pleasuring himself to you.
.com.
Admin a la carte are specialized local experts committed to helping you run your small business. From general admin and sales support to marketing, digital media and technology to real estate and compliance, Admin a la carte's only goal is to take your business to the next level. Find out how Admin a la carte can elevate your business. Visit admin.
Okay, guys, listen. Beeler is out. She stepped outside to go do whatever she does outside. So what I need you guys to do in the chat is everybody post in the chat, hey, K-Dog, pull Beeler's hair. All of you just posted in there just to screw with her. Hey, K-Dog, pull Beeler's hair. Put those comments in there. Line that stuff up.
alacarte.com for more information. That's admin-alacarte.com. Admin a la carte. Your business doesn't fit into a box. Why should you have to?
Are you ready to elevate your spirits? Look no further than Black Ring Spirits, your local craft distillery nestled in Town Square Mall. Indulge in the smooth richness of our handcrafted spirits, meticulously distilled to perfection. Whether you prefer the bold kick of our bourbon or the subtle sophistication of our gin, Black Ring Spirits has something for every palate. Visit us today at Town Square Mall and experience the essence of true craftsmanship. Black Ring Spirits, where passion meets perfection, unconventionally traditional. On a recent episode of the Outlaw Radio Network,
Some of our listeners even appreciated you dumbing it down for them. So, on behalf
Sometimes
of
I have to
thank you.
mansplain for people like. By the way, mansplaining is when men explain things to a woman in a condescending tone. I just mansplained.
That's the Outlaw Radio Network Sunday nights at their new time from 6 to 10.
You're listening to the Outlaw Radio Network, powered by our friends at Destination Highway 420, proudly supporting our veterans in the Bremerton community. Visit them online at destinationhighway420.com. 21 and over.
Cannabis has intoxicating effects and may be habit-forming. Keep out of the reach of children.
The older people, I know you're getting a little edgy right now, but you better get into me because I don't want to bum you out, but I'm the future of America.
This is the Outlaw Radio Network.
Good evening, my fellow citizens.
It's kind of stony, huh?
It's the real thing. A radio signal from another world.
The United States government presents
The Outlaw Radio Network.
To provide guidance to mankind.
Hey, it's Outlaw Radio. Thanks for checking out the show. If you missed our interview with Dave Larson, who's running for Washington State Supreme Court judge, you can catch that. It was in the first hour. It'll be on our YouTube page. Just go to hour number 1. He'll join us. We spent an hour with him. It's a really interesting conversation. Probably one of the best interviews we've had on this in a while, for me at least. Yeah. Really knowledgeable.
Well, you're getting better, though, Kevin. Don't be so hard on yourself.
What's that?
I said you're getting better at your interviews, so don't be so hard on yourself.
Oh, I can't wait to hear you do a political interview without me next weekend.
Well, next week, that's going to be lights out stuff right there, man.
Oh, is it?
Oh, man, because that woman I think she is loaded and ready to bear for this.
Wait, who's loaded and ready to bear?
Fox.
Oh,
Teresa.
Yeah, I'm excited for that
Teresa
one.
Fox.
I don't think I've ever met her.
She's a kick in the pants. You will like her, Alicia. She's a lot like
I'm
you.
sure that I will. I'm excited to meet her. Yeah. He's got to fix his microphone.
He's breaking stuff again.
So, Paul, when are you guys going to have your grand opening?
End of April.
End of April.
Last weekend in April. Yeah. So what we're getting right now, what we've been working on all day today is because we're opening up what's called a speedball field, which is blow up. There's blow up obstacles on the field, and there's actually
that's so cool.
Kevin heard blow up and was like, "What?"
We have football field turf that's being laid down, and then we have a woods ball field. That's what we were out clearing trails through that today and marking the
woods
boundaries
ball?
and stuff.
Where
You're playing paintball in the woods.
Oh, sorry. My
Endor.
mind went elsewhere.
Are you going to call that field Endor? I think you should call that field Endor. That's what I think.
Oh.
Endor,
yeah.
Yeah, we're thinking about
you know what
changing
Endor
our
is,
name.
right? Hold on, Lori. Do you know what Endor is?
Go ahead and say it.
Do you know what Endor is, Lori?
Go ahead and say it.
I'm asking you if you know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
I don't
It's
know.
a planet
It's
in
Return of the
Star
Jedi, where the Ewoks live, that forest planet. Yeah. Come on, guys, pay attention. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, we're actually toying with the idea of changing the name because it's been under new ownership. And I had told both my brothers when we first bought the place, I'm like, we need to change the name. We need to disassociate ourselves with the previous ownership kind of thing, So we haven't done that once we did the soft opening, but now that we're ready to do the grand opening, I think we're going to change the name. Are you ready for this? You can laugh because it's kind of funny, but we're looking at changing the name to Spaceballs.
Spaceballs.
Yeah, because we're
Isn't
setting
that
up
trademarked?
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't it trademarked?
Oh, fucking no.
It is trademarked.
It's easier to ask forgiveness.
No, dude, don't
No,
even
it's
get
not.
yourself into
No,
that situation.
It really isn't.
Check the trademark list. It's definitely trademarked.
They'll bury you.
What about Outlaw Paintball?
No.
No?
I can't mix those two.
Yeah, they can't make. Yeah.
But you know, I mean, it's all good. Like I'm gonna set up. We're gonna have an espresso stand there. We're gonna have. I think we're gonna have Smoking Robinson's barbecue there.
Nice.
And, we're gonna have some fun. It'll be that whole grand opening weekend.
I'm super excited. I can't wait to be out there.
Beeler, how good are you?
We're even setting up.
Really good.
I've seen her shoot, man. Do not piss that woman
Have you?
off.
Where did you see Beeler shoot?
At his place. At his
Yep.
range.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Let's do it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's just play some paintball.
I've been
Kevin,
shooting
I've
a
got a
long
bolt
time.
action
I just
22.
haven't been shooting in a few years.
Well, I'm saying paintball because that's the only way I can legally shoot you.
I'm gonna beat your ass. This isn't even gonna be a competition.
We'll see about that.
It'll be funny as hell watching you two run at each other. We'll do a one-on-one match, Beeler against Kevin.
Fuck yeah, we will. That sounds amazing. You're going down.
I don't believe I am.
Don't make me pull out my Stone Cold Steve Austin voice.
Well, first of all, it's best.
Wait, I want to hear that.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'll bust out my macho man.
So that way
you're going nowhere, freak show. All right, go ahead, Paul.
I want to take you to the corner of Jabroni and you are road. That was The Rock.
Oh God, I hope we got that recorded. That'll make a good bit for the intro.
Would it?
It's all recorded. Kevin Nelson said intergalactic paintball.
Intergalactic.
Maybe something because like I said, on top of our main field, we're setting up ultraviolet lights because we have paint that we picked up that's glow in the dark, and we'll do it on Friday and Saturday nights, and I'm telling you, it's a whole different kind of experience, man.
It'll be like Rock and Bull, but rock and paintball.
Right.
I like it.
Exactly. We've got a big speaker. In fact, I got it sitting in my house, and Amber and I, come in the house, and boom, we, Bluetooth connect to it, man. We got music playing here almost 24 hours a day.
Rad.
It's
That's
great because
fun.
it puts out good sound. It rattles the whole house.
Yeah, let me know if you want me to put a playlist together for you.
Oh
Of
my
like some
God.
movie from Apocalypse Now.
Here comes the greatest hits of Journey.
No. There would probably be probably not any Journey in that playlist.
No.
I'm just thinking like Apocalypse Now and
Fade to Black.
Fade to Black and some ZZ Top and there'd be some good stuff. Some Pink Floyd.
Well, here's what we'll do too. Whenever as a crew, whatever day we set up to go out there on a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
We'll invite any of the listeners that want to come out to play as well, and I'll give everybody their rental gear for free.
Yeah.
So all you guys have to do is buy your paint.
I have a genius idea. We should totally let our audience shoot at Kevin. Yeah.
How about hosts against fans?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That'd
I
be
like
fun.
that too.
Yeah. Hosts against fans. So
Yeah,
maybe
we should
Beeler-
have Jay Andrews show up so you guys can blast
Right.
him. He doesn't ever come at me.
First of all, Jay Andrew is in Michigan, and he can't even leave that state because his ankle monitor won't let him. So, by the way, Paul, did you see what he said about you earlier?
No, I didn't, but that's okay. And I want to throw this out there. I'd like Tegan to drive her happy ass over here too, so she can be here when we play.
That was from Tegan.
There you go.
So, Paul, Jay Andrew
Yes.
Kennedy said, "When St. Paul talks, I have to fist fight my boner. Currently undefeated," he said.
Good God.
So, there you
Listen,
go.
I'm gonna say this: if he ain't flaming gay, he should be an actor because that dude's been playing the part for a long time.
He is in Michigan, you know.
That doesn't make him gay.
And
Maybe
he's a Wolverine
Somalian, but it doesn't make him gay.
He's a Wolverine fan. Oh, I never equated that he could be Somalian. He
Yeah,
could be
you never
Somali.
know.
Maybe that's why he's so maybe he thinks you're a goat. I don't know.
I got a lead today, Kevin. I'm gonna try to get this guy on. He is a fraud inspector for DS or for the state. People that are like fraudulently making claims for whatever, all kinds of stuff. And I'm gonna see if I can get him on because I'd like to have the conversation with him about the fraud that's committed, So we'll see if I can get him to come on or not. He may be prevented from doing that because of his contract.
Yeah, I bet he can't talk about it.
So we'll see. I'm still gonna try. He's an old friend, so
Maybe we can get him pixelated and no one will know.
Yeah, and
I don't.
his voice.
You guys bring up a good point. You guys would have to ask Dennis if we're able to do that or not.
Well, Dennis
'cause
is outside, but we'll ask him when he comes back.
Oh, that's perfect then. I appreciate that, Alicia. Thank you. Okay,
You
so we're
got
moving
it.
on to our next topic. for about another 15 minutes or so till our comedians come on.
Yeah, I'll be watching the chat for them to join us. Do you have a topic you wanted to get into, Paul?
Well, some of the laws that are so I was presented with an interesting perspective today by a well-informed individual about the 9.9% income tax law. This individual was reading through basically the whole bill, and within the fine print, what he discerned is that this bill's main priority is actually not to collect 9.9%. That's just that's the vehicle, if you will. It's what was explained to me was the goal of this bill is to collect data on every taxpayer in Washington state, because some people, for example, let's take my mom. She's got 3 homes. She lives in one, she rents the other 2 out, okay? And she has a business, okay? All of her stuff is listed under the business, the LLC, and it's all in trust, right? But she has over $1 million worth of property.
Correct.
And so by looking at the bill, technically she's going to end up having to pay that 9.9%. Now, not up front, not within the first couple of years. They're going to use this bill to collect data on assets of every individual in the state. So that way, if you own 3 or 4 houses and you rent a couple out, right, you still have real property valued at over $1 million. Therefore, you still have to pay the tax. So do you see, and we're talking about a couple here who are almost complete. My mom is completely retired, right? And Gordon still runs his concrete pumping operation, almost, I would say, part-time. And
Paul, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was just going to say because of their situation, and she had half of her retirement stolen. So so for them, they're barely scraping by, and I mean barely. But the state eventually is going to come to them and say, well, you've got $1 million in assets, and assets are the same as, they equate the same way. So therefore, you may not be making $1 million a year, but you have $1 million a year in assets.
And that's why Jamie Peterson said income is property.
Yeah.
Right. And I think the most concerning part about this to me is that if every single taxpayer in Washington is filling out this form, it's going into the database, somebody's entering those numbers into a database, and then all that data analyst has to do is run some code, and all of a sudden they find the next targeted group that they can go after because they have this amount of money, or they have this.
You got it.
To your point, thank you, Paul. Yes.
By the way, Paul, did your friend also notice that there is a clause in the bill that they're going to sign, or that Governor Ferguson's supposed to sign? We cannot referendum or initiative against
put
it.
That in there.
There's an emergency clause.
Yes.
So we can't do anything about
There's
it.
nothing we can do about it. Not
As
even
the
a little bit.
citizenry.
Right.
Yeah.
All it's got, the course it can take is it can go through the judicial system.
Right.
And hopefully somebody pulls it out of their ass and looks at the Washington State Constitution, which they're supposed to interpret and make a ruling on.
So that's a question I would have loved to have asked Dave.
I know, me too.
And I know we couldn't talk about it, so I didn't put him in that spot.
Yep.
But just to ask him, if it says no state income tax, and the voters have knocked down the multiple attempts to put in a state income tax, is there any way that this gets through the Supreme Court in the state?
It's so political, like he was just talking about, that it could.
No, hold on. I expect it to.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, is there a logical way that it should be able to? Because it shouldn't. But go
so
ahead, Paul.
Kevin, somebody told us this. I do not recall who, but I think they were spot on when they said there's no way the Democrats put this much work and effort into this without already having counted the votes in the Supreme Court.
Correct.
So
exactly.
there is some degree of collusion going on because if you just read the state constitution, there's no way the state Supreme Court should say, oh, this is fine. There's no way they should. But we are all sitting here expect that they fully will, which means they're going to interpret it as they see fit to make it go through.
Yeah.
They've ignored this Washington State Constitution in all their gun cases, right?
Correct.
So the fact that they ignored all of those just means they're going to ignore the rest of them anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I think interpreting the state constitution in the section about income tax, it's not hard to interpret. You don't need to have more than a 7th grade reading level to be able to read it and go, oh, that's what that means, right? So there's no way that
breaking news, Paul just said that the elected representatives in Olympia do not have a 7th grade reading level. But go ahead, Paul.
Close enough. But anyway, I think the point still stands, though. There's no way those Supreme Court justices should pass that income tax law unless they're already in the tank for the Democrats and the governor. That's how I see it, man. And I don't know what it's going to take for the people of this state to say, God damn it, that's enough. I paid over the course of the last 4 days. I watched gas go from $4.80 a gallon to $4.90 a gallon. Today I paid $5.10 a gallon.
Yep.
That's just puck and futz.
Yeah. I was at Costco, which is always the cheapest. It was still $4.65 a gallon at Costco.
So is the
It's
tribe,
insane.
the tribal gas station up north.
It's
on
insane.
Bond Road. Yeah.
It is absolutely nuts.
And they feel completely justified in doing it. They are fucking celebrating. I mean, everybody.
And who are they
saw the
blaming?
videos-
But who are they blaming though? Like, it's not. This is what I hate about them, right? They're not out there going, well, just keep in mind that a large part of the reason why your gas prices are so high is because we've taxed the crap out of you. What they've said is, nope, the increase in gas prices is all because of Trump. Well, in a way, that's not wrong, right?
Right.
The assault on Iran certainly had a impact on gas prices. But if I drive to Idaho, I'm paying $1.50 less a gallon.
Kevin, how long is that,
$1.59
how long has that assault on Iran been going on again?
No, but I'm talking.
No. I'm
2
just
weeks.
asking-
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks. So what are we talking about for the past 2 years?
No, and you're right. I'm just saying that when they're talking now, they're
I
saying,
know.
well, gas is only this high because of Trump.
Oh my
Nobody's
gosh, I got
pushing
into
back.
that argument with somebody this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people are freaking stupid. The people on my Facebook page, because I have 3,500.
Oh my God. Are you okay? What the fuck?
You okay,
Sounds like
Paul?
Paul's dogs had a fight.
What is happening?
I don't know. Will you mute his camera
was
mic just for a sec? I don't know what the hell that was. We'll give him a sec to get back. The number of people on my Facebook page that I have seen, thanks Trump.
Yeah.
Look what Trump did to our gas prices. And again, there's a partial truth to that, right?
There is, yeah.
The fact that we are the second highest gas in the nation, besides Hawaii, which should have really high gas prices because all their gas has to be shipped halfway across an ocean to get there.
Yeah.
The fact that we are higher than on state average, we are higher than California. Whose fault is that? And don't tell me it's about that we live in the middle of nowhere in the upper left-hand corner of the world, because Idaho is right freaking next to us. And they're not even on a port. You can't float oil into them. And they're $1.50 to $1.60 cheaper a gallon a week.
Kevin, take Paul's thing off.
Oh,
That's annoying.
Well, I had it up so I could watch from to get back.
Oh.
But let me pull them off. All right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean though? None of it makes sense to me.
Right.
Again, be pissed off at Trump if you want about the 40 cents a gallon you've seen increase since what happened in Iran. Okay, cool. But we've got taxes of what did I posted a thing on it
It's
before.
$1.47.
Is it? I thought it was $1.59.
But it also goes up and down as the carbon.
Yeah.
What is it called? The carbon auction.
Yeah, the carbon offset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, that was the stupidest thing ever created.
Oh, yeah.
Not only did we agree to let them tax us more, but we agreed to let it's $1.29 in the state of Washington. No, sorry, for state tax is $1.29. $1.47 a gallon is state and federal taxes.
Okay.
And by the way, federal is only 18 cents.
Correct.
So do with that what you will.
By the way, I would like to go back to 2022 me when I went to Florida. They had these great decals, stickers, whatever you want to call them, on all of these different gas pumps.
Of Joe Biden, I did that.
It was Biden.
Yeah.
I did that. I would love to get a hold of where I can get those and just have
Amazon.
Ferguson.
Yeah. Oh, maybe. That'd be
Ferguson or Inslee
David
Space.
Pretzman can make those.
Oh,
I
really?
think.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe. I think he has.
And I would just
machinery
start
for that.
leaving them at all the different gas stations.
Yeah.
Jake said in chat, an Afghan immigrant who previously worked with the U.S. military in Afghanistan and later sought asylum in the United States died this weekend in Immigration and Customs Enforcement custody less than 24 hours after being detained in Texas. That's a sad story, but I would need more information about that before I get up in arms about ISIS detaining him. Because he could have had a heart attack, could have been normal, could have had an aneurysm or a stroke,
Drugs.
or he could have had drugs. He could have had a bad reaction to
papaya.
to something, like, we just don't know. So, like, people die. I would need more information, Jake, before I can make an educated and informed decision about whether or not his death was directly related to ICE detaining him.
Yes.
And again, I need people to do that themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you see something that's like, this happened, you need to look more into it. The headlines are deceitful. The media packages things in a way to make it listen, do me a favor, guys. Go to CNN. Don't even read the articles. Just look at the titles of the article. The president said, I already read that up before. Trump ramps up calls for help reopening Strait of Hormuz. If Trump has already won the Iran war, why does he need foreign ships to help him end it? I mean, every article being pushed out there through 90% of mainstream news is tainted even in the title of the article.
It's always tainted in the title of the article. That's how you know which side of the
aisle
spectrum
they're
you're
on.
reading.
Yep.
You can tell just by the news headlines.
And if you could say, well, but those are factually true, right? If Trump is saying he's already won the war, why does he need the ships? Well, but that's not how you phrase the article. Like, I was a journalist and I went through journalist training when I was in the Navy, and we went through DINFOS and a whole bunch of other stuff. You easily could rewrite that statement in a journalistically neutral frame of mind. What benefit would it be for Trump to have foreign ships and the blockade in Hormuz or something, right? That doesn't paint Trump as good or bad. It just asks the question. You know what I mean? That's all that you need.
Mm-hmm.
He's a douche nozzle. He is. He's a horrible human being and probably a pretty lousy husband. Like, I wouldn't want my sister to marry him. But Republicans are really bad at this. We create an argument that is designed just to piss people off. And then the argument never happens. It never comes to fruition.
Did you just call yourself a Republican?
No, I said this is what Republicans do. I'm not doing it. I don't do that. Like Republicans that came out and said Obama's going to take your guns. Well, it got everybody all up in arms, and people were protesting, and people in Texas were pissed. And guess what never happened? The guns never got jacked.
Yeah.
Not the way they said it was going to happen. You know what they did instead?
What?
They snuck legislative things around so that Obama didn't have to come get your guns. The legislatures did it for him.
Mm-hmm.
While you guys were standing in your monkey suits waiting for federal officers to come to your property and hijack your guns, which never happened.
Mm.
They make you look over here to your right and you dummies fall for it while they're being all sneaky and crafty over here on the left.
Yeah, we've been seeing that for years. Man.
What the Washington State Legislature just did with this income tax.
Yep.
And Ferguson came out months ago. Oh, I don't think I can vote for this unless it makes things cheaper for working Washington families. If any of you thought he was telling the truth, you're an idiot.
Super idiot.
I have some waterfront property in Oklahoma to sell you. If anybody didn't think Ferguson was going to sign that bill, and you dumbasses voted for it hand over fist.
This is your fault.
ABC, what is it? Como did a poll last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was over 80% of people thought the state income tax was a bad idea and probably a violation.
97.
Well, I saw one that said 97, but I don't believe that was a Como one. The one I saw from Como, I thought was at 87%. I've seen the 97% one floating around, but I can't determine who conducted that poll, so I can't gauge how valid it is. It could have been a Republican think tank calling Republican voters. I just don't know. But the Como one, they're a left-leaning rag.
Yeah, that's insane.
They are falling over to the left. Although I'm beginning to wonder how left they really are. They did the Seattle is dying thing, and now they've got this, so maybe they're not.
You know, maybe that means we're going to take a turn in this state.
No, but
the media's starting to jump on board.
God, man, I wish.
Maybe they're framing the news.
I wish.
Let's make it happen.
I wish people would just.
It was Como.
Was it Como?
Yeah. Overwhelming opposition with 96% of respondents saying that the move did not reflect the will of Washington State voters.
It doesn't.
How many votes? Does it say?
when I saw it was like 32,000, which is, I mean, it's not that much of a representative of Washington State, but it's a good sample number.
Well, let's see what happens in November when we get to the midterms.
I can't find how many.
Okay,
votes there were.
let's see what happens when we get to the midterms.
Yeah.
What happens in the midterms? Do these 97% of people remember this? That in March they passed X, Y, and Z, and now we're in November casting our ballots.
Make sure they remember it.
I don't know if they're going to care.
I know
the voters didn't care when they overturned the $30 license tab initiative and basically came in.
No, most people did. Most people did.
No, they did. You know how I know they didn't care?
Why?
Because they still voted the same idiotic dimwits back in office when they came up to the next election cycle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like they were so pissed off. They're like, well, we're just going to hand over fist, like replace these people.
Right.
They still put them all back in office. In fact, they gained more seats.
I think, I just don't think they understand the correlation between their vote and shitty fucking policy.
No, because they don't care. In this state, it is more important for people to look at the letter next to somebody's name than the policies and the processes they believe in.
Yeah.
Tegan said they were not
Nobody's giving them information.
Tegan said they were not sneaky about it. They were
Exactly.
very public about it. They were sneaky. Bob Ferguson lied, blatantly lied. Well, I don't know if I can vote for that bill unless it makes things cheaper for Washington families. Shut up, dopey.
He really does sound like Barney.
Oh my
It's the
God.
same thing he did last year.
That
with
dude is as bright as a
I'm not
burnout
going to
light
give you
bulb.
taxes. I have to sign this in
Yeah.
good conscience.
He's such a doofus, I swear to God.
If somebody's really a grandmaster chess champion,
No, remember,
why
they
can't you
accused,
figure your way out of this?
they
and
accused me
make
of
the
being,
cuts?
Absolutely.
they accused me of being a grandmaster of the KKK one.
my
So don't forget that. No, Paulsville for all did. They said I was a
they
grandmaster.
did.
Who are our guests coming on, man?
They come on at 9:30. It's not 9. It's
I know,
9:30
but
right
can
this second.
I know. I just want to. Who is it? They're comedians?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Dennis,
Yeah.
you want to do the intro?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've got one of our opening acts and our headliner
Right on.
that are coming on. And this is something I'm going to try to do every month.
Nice.
The show before
We need the
the
comedy.
show.
Yeah, we do need the
um,
comedy.
You know, get some of the comics on and have them do that. I'm really excited. I always am. I love a good laugh, so it's going to be at the Traceton Movie House this Thursday night.
A funny night out.
Yep.
My mind was going to get me a ticket, but I'm going to be in San Diego, so I'm not going to be able to be there. But joining us, should we bring our guests on? I think they're all here.
Let's do it.
Hail, the gangs are here. Joining us, they're going to be performing this Thursday night at the Traceton Movie House. It's a funny night out. Joining us is Andy Harder and Richard Bowen. Gentlemen, I'm going to bring you on camera, so don't pick your nose from this point forward. Here we go. Andy and Richard are joining us. Guys, how are you? Welcome to the Outlaw Radio Network. What's going on?
Hello.
Doing good.
Howdy.
Just finished picking my nose.
Right
Perfect timing.
Timing is great. So hold on. So which of you is the headliner and which of you is the opener? And would you guys just duke it out in like blood sport fashion to determine who gets the headliner?
No, the producer saw me at a show called Ha Ha Tuesdays that's over at Tacoma Comedy Club. Invited me to be to come and headline, and she was really nice, Miss Maimai. She actually let me choose the opener and the feature, and so I got my two favorite guys. Richard Bowen's going to be the feature. He'll be the one going right before me. He's one of my all-time favorites. And then Donald will be opening, Donald Robert, and he's a little bit of a rookie, but he is he's showing a lot of potential really early on. I'm really excited. It's a great lineup.
Right on.
We're gonna have fun.
Yeah. So how did you guys get into comedy, right? Like, I think all of us think we can be relatively funny sometimes. But to get up and be funny in front of people has to be nerve wracking, at least the first 600 or so times you do it. What got you guys into it?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I had no idea how you got into comedy in the first place. That's why I didn't start until I was 41 years old, because I had I didn't know what open mics were or anything.
Wait, babe,
and
will you-
it was something that I always sort of
Oh
thought
my
would be
God.
like kind of fun. And then,
God damn it.
Hold on. I
day-
think we lost Richard.
Hey!
Hold on a second.
Hey!
Richard, hold on. I'm going to remove Richard from the queue really quick. Andy, go ahead.
So what happened is a very good friend of mine who's actually quite a bit funnier than I am in person. I mean, he's a hysterical, longtime friend, old roommate of mine. He called me one day and he said, I've been writing jokes and I've been thinking about going to some open mics. And I was like, oh, open mics. I just heard that word and it was like the big piece of the puzzle that I needed. And I said, that sounds really fun. I said, I'll write some jokes too and we'll go together. Fast forward 9 years now, he's still never done an open mic. But it got me writing jokes. And then at the time I was a Lyft driver and I was
You have to get a lot of material doing a Lyft driver, right? You could probably get a lot of material from that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I picked up somebody outside the local 907, which is a bar here in Renton where I live. And I picked him up. I said, hey, how was your night? And he goes, well, I'm a comedian, and I just did this open mic in here, and I really kind of bombed. And I was like, right in here? And he goes, yeah, every Monday. And I was like, oh, my gosh. And so I went to the next one, and I went to the next 3 and just watched. And then on the 5th one, I went up myself. And you're absolutely right. I would say until I was about 5 years in, I pretty much had a panic attack before every set, every time.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I remember joking with my friends, we'd be getting ready to go on and we'd be like, man, I could just leave right now and nobody would even know.
Hold on, we're going to bring Richard back on. Richard's camera's back up. Richard, are you okay?
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm good.
No, we saw you the whole time. You're
Was
like,
your car getting towed?
we saw you like, fuck.
No, my
honey, what happened?
my screen locked up, and it's like it's a whole thing.
That's all right.
And I'm on my partner's laptop, so she had to put her password in.
Oh, damn her! She's screwing with your success plan.
She's out there playing with the dog. Yeah, I had to chase her down.
You're on the radio, and she's like, "Screw him. Where's the dog?" Richard, how did you get into it? What made you want to get into comedy?
Well, I got picked on a lot when I was in school, but then I realized I didn't really care if they were laughing at me or laughing with me, so I just kept it going and turned into the class clown.
There you go.
And I just turned the whole thing around, and then yeah, I don't know, I just loved it in school, and then adult life sucked, and but my favorite part of work or whatever I would have to do of adult life was always just making my friends laugh. So then I found some improv classes and started that, and then I started doing stand-up, and then I couldn't get enough of it.
Outstanding. Yeah. Andy, do you get most of the stuff from real life? Like, is it stuff you experience in real life that you're basing a lot of your stuff on, or?
Yeah, most of my stuff is pretty personal. I lie a lot, but
on and off stage.
Yes. But even when I'm lying, it's in the context of a true story. I will just change how it went down to make it funnier sometimes. And sometimes I keep it 100% accurate too. But I'm just saying most of the premises, come from my real life.
Richard, is there anything off limits for your comedy set? Anything that when you're doing comedy, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get into that.
I actually, I've been working on I do a lot of short jokes, and I've been working on a database to keep track of them all. And I actually have statistics now. I know that about 75% of my jokes are clean, which is never really, it's not like I tried to always write like that. That's just kind of how it worked out. But I don't know. I like to read the room. I mean, there's definitely I don't get too political, and I don't do too much race stuff. Like, I mess with some of it, but I don't know. I like jokes about animals and driving and just normal stuff, I guess.
Right on.
I do like a dirty joke though. Here
Keep on keeping on, buddy.
Yes.
Life is a garden. Dig it.
Are there any? And this is for both of you. Are there any topics you guys hear other comics do, and you're like, "That's just low hanging fruit. I want to be better than that." Is there stuff that is like?
Yeah, well, it goes through cycles. There will be trends that develop. Like a couple of years ago, if you went to an open mic, you were going to hear 4 different comics talk about eating ass. And
Yep.
Or as Dennis calls it, Tuesday.
It was supposed to be like a given. Like you say, eat ass, and then they laugh, and it was just terrible. And I could probably think of some other ones, but that's the one that jumps out at me. And I haven't really seen that in a couple of years, because what happens is that it becomes so hack that people don't get laughs, and then they quit doing it, But then next thing you know, there will be another topic like that where they kind of act like it's inherently funny and you don't even need a punchline. There's always a topic or two like that floating around.
Okay.
Richard, do you have anything to add?
I just look at it. Yeah, you definitely like, depending on like, a bunch of people are making 6-7 jokes now.
Yeah.
Like I always just look at it as a challenge, is like trying to think of like an original way to make a joke about the same thing that everyone's making a joke about, but like to kind of misdirect or whatever. Like, yeah, I think people definitely do hit the low-hanging fruit, but then once in a while you'll hear someone really do it right, and I like that. It's always possible to write a really good joke about anything, I think.
Richard, I have to ask you, are you in the restroom right now?
This is my little bathroom. Yeah. I live in a tiny house.
Do you really?
Yeah. I built my house.
Look at that.
Wow, that's
how many square feet is that?
Good for you.
128.
Oh my!
Wow.
16 by 8. That's why I have to write short jokes. I don't have the room for the big
Hey,
ones.
we're going to bring the MC on with us as well. Actually, DMAC Uno is in the thread. DMAC, your camera's not hot yet. If you're ready to come on, give me a thumbs up just so I know you're good.
Hell yeah.
Here he is. All right, let's bring DMAC Uno on. DMAC, what's up, man?
Hey, I made it. Hey, shout out to my future ex-wife. If you're watching, it was my fault.
Nice.
Right on.
So DMAC, I heard you're the MC host, like the man driving this show along on Thursday, right?
Yes. I kind of walked into the job, and so I just try to make sure I get on there and introduce the comics and not drink a lot. I did quit drinking 30 days ago. I'm pretty proud of myself.
Nice.
That's
30 days. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's like turning the lights on in the club. You're like, ooh. That's what I've
for real.
Now you see how things really are because you're sober.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the same, just like I ain't got no escape. But how's everybody doing tonight?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good, man. I've been listening to the show.
Too.
My friend Wes, we're supposed to come on here with D. I'm just very happy to be here.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you here. We're looking forward to having you come in too. We got to set dates and times for that. But I'm excited to have you guys come on. Quick question. DMAC, you've done a couple of these funny nights out. You've been a part of these before, or is this your first one?
No, actually, I've been the host for about maybe a year. I kind of walked into the job. I've only been doing comedy for like maybe a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Like my friend kind of just wore me down. He's like, "Hey, you should tell jokes. You're naturally funny." I'm like, "Nah," and I just finally did it, and it kind of worked out. But it's a pretty great show. It's over at the Trace of the Movie House every third Thursday. We have comics from all around Washington. All the comics are pretty cool. The audience is really nice. Sometimes they'll say stuff, and I'll be like, you know what? If someone in the audience says something, just go at them. Like we don't know really. Like someone heckled me once, and I was like, I can't see you, but I can smell you. I'm gonna find you.
Nice.
Then they left me alone. I was like, dang it. Like, because for me as like doing comedy, like I have to remember a routine. But if I can just make fun of somebody talking crap to me, I can do that all night. All night. Yeah.
Nice.
Well, sorry if you can smell me.
Yeah, he's in the bathroom right now.
I was like, he looks like he was dropping a deuce.
So hold on. So true story, Richard. When your camera went butt crazy, right, and we pulled you off. B looked at me and goes, "Was he on the toilet?" Yeah.
I am on the toilet, but the lid is down. Okay.
All right, cool, man. No judgment from me. You
Careful,
do you.
You'll make a mess
Yeah.
that you'll make a mess that way. Hey, DMAC, talk a little bit about the environment. I know these guys haven't been down there before, but the Tracy Movie House is a great place to go catch just any kind of entertainment at all. But it's a great venue for comedy.
Yeah, it's a really good, nice venue. I mean, you can go in there. That you put up your flag. They can bring you drinks. They bring you food. There's an arcade in there. They also show movies.
Yes.
It's a really nice setting. The crowd, like we have regulars that come, and people just really enjoy the show. It's a really good time. It's nice to bring in the weekend that way. You know what I'm saying? Because it's on a Thursday night, and we still get a pretty nice crowd. I like it. I'm right up the street. I'm probably gonna walk down there this week. Well,
So you gave up drinking and you're still walking home.
Yeah. No, I had to exercise too. I live right, or I work down the street too from my house, and I drive past the Planet Fitness. I count that as working out. I'm like, yeah, I go there like 6 times a day. You know?
Andy, Richard, have you guys been to Tracyton Movie House before? Is this your guys' first time there?
I have been there.
You have been there?
I think at least once, maybe twice. Yeah, just to come out and see friends of mine that have also been in the show.
Richard?
I've been to Bremerton, but not the movie house. No.
Okay.
DMAC, do you host all the time there?
Yeah. I've
love
actually
a theater that'll serve dinner. That's dope.
Yeah. They
Listen,
have really good food. And so down the street they have the Tracyton Pub, and that's who owns the movie theater. So they're really known for their chicken wings or whatever.
The chicken wings.
I was just about to tell Andy and Richard, if you guys have not had the garbage wings yet, order the garbage wings. They are they're messy. You need like a whole bunch of extra napkins, but my God, they're amazing. And they're huge, literally the size of your face.
Dude.
Yeah.
They're great. They're great good stuff.
I'm pretty sure
kind of
chicken wings
animal
aren't
is
supposed
this
to
that
be
these
that
wings
big,
are
though,
No,
which
but
makes
they-
me question why they're so big.
Genetically
Steroids.
modified.
Steroids.
Gross! I don't want to put that in my body.
I mean, would you rather like want big chicken wings or like the little ones? Like you go get like a 6-piece and they're like from Popeyes are like this big.
I don't eat fast food. I'd rather just make them
I'm so
like
bummed.
kill the chicken and do it myself.
Yeah, get the
I feel
wings.
that.
Hey, Andy and Richard, really quick, how do you guys deal with hecklers? DMAC brought up getting heckled a little bit. You guys ever get hecklers at your shows? How do you deal with them?
Absolutely. So in the beginning, I used to be very abusive, and I'd scream at people and insult them and be like, "Shut up! Shut the up!" You know.
You can swear. You're not on the radio, man. This is the internet.
Okay,
Say what you need to.
you hadn't told me yet, so I thought.
Oh, you can swear.
The other way.
You have been approved for swearing.
Yeah. So, anyways, I would call them names and like all this stuff, and the thing is that it usually didn't work, and even if it did, it brought the room down so bad that like I had no chance of making him laugh after that. So now. That's when I try to practice crowd work. I'm not a big crowd work guy, but I like working on that skill. And so I take that opportunity when I get hecklers, I take that opportunity to because that it's like, if they're going to talk, at least I can steer them in a direction rather than just throwing me off.
Mm-hmm. Richard, what about you?
Yeah, I got a couple different approaches. I have some kind of stock lines that I really like. I just wrote one the other day, like, "Oh wow, like you really stand out in here. I really wish that you would stand outside." Like, just I got some stock lines, but then depending on what I did a show at this bar in Eastlake a couple months ago, and this girl, she was like buzzing pretty hard, like she wasn't quite hammered yet, and she had white gloves on for some reason. And she was just she was so easy to make fun of. And she was like the perfect heckler because she'd heckle me and then I'd make fun of her and it would get a big laugh. And then she'd get embarrassed and she would shut up. And then it was just the whole night. It was because I did like 20 minutes or whatever. So it was like, if I ever had a lull, she would heckle and then I could just make fun of her white gloves again. And it was fun. So
nice.
But
white gloves. Who thought that was a good
fodder.
idea? Don't eat the wings with the white gloves.
Yeah, don't
definitely
do that.
not.
What's the longest set you guys have done? Like, I know that when they do like Netflix specials and stuff, the big comedians are doing, 45, 50, 60-minute sets. What's the longest set you guys do?
45.
40. You do 45, Andy?
This will be my third or fourth time doing 45 minutes.
How the hell do you remember 45 minutes worth of material?
Well, Well, because you start out with 3 minutes, and then it's 4, and then it's 5, and so on. I mean, I've been doing this 9 years. So, and even that, I mean, when I'm done with 45 minutes, I'm not only mentally exhausted, but I'm even physically, like, I got to sit down. It completely takes it out of me. So it's still hard after 9 years, but like I said, it starts with 3 minutes, and you know, that's all there is to it. You work your way up to it.
Yeah. D-Mac, what about you? What's the longest that you've done?
So let's see. I've done about, I'll say I've done stand-up. I've had like four, and then I host, right? So the longest I've done is 13 minutes. But since I host, I have to come up with new jokes every month. Like I can't just keep telling the same ones. So I probably have enough material for a good like 30 minutes. It's just remembering it all. But I just talk about my kids being overweight and life.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. You talk about your kids and you being overweight, or your kids being overweight?
A little bit of both. A little bit of I talk about I just talk about myself. Like I learned, like when I talk about my life, people think that's funny. Then I tried to make up jokes one time and I bombed. Like to me, they were funny, but like I said, instead of raccoon in it, I said trash panda, and nobody knows what a trash panda is.
I do.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
I dated a couple, but go ahead.
Oh.
Well, yeah, I think I have enough material to do a good 30 minutes. And then like one time I was telling jokes, and like I was like, time, I'm thinking I'm killing it, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm almost done. And I had like 10 minutes to do, and they were like, oh yeah, you did 4 minutes. So I was like, oh, all right. So I just started talking about myself.
shit.
Classic.
Yeah, it works out.
Have you guys ever watched Kill Tony on YouTube?
I've been on Kill Tony twice.
What?
Oh my God,
nice.
I love that show. I went and saw Killers of Kill Tony last weekend.
Kill Tony, if I may brag, I got on the Secret Show the second time.
You did? That's amazing. Good job.
Yeah, episode 502. I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to write that down and go check that out and see how bad
We
it
get
was.
to promote it with rather than you having to do it yourself.
Yeah, that was definitely like, you know, my biggest moment in all of comedy for sure.
Right on.
It was, I mean, getting to do that and the Secret Show, because, you know, the Secret Show, you opened for Red Band and Tony and whoever was on the show. I mean, it's really, you know, and it's in a big place. It's amazing. Yeah, it was a dream come true.
What was that like? Like, it's kind of like when you hit your first home run as a baseball player, or just something big, right? That has to be like a milestone, right?
Yeah, well, and on top of that, the second time, so I got on the first time, it did just okay. And then about 5 weeks later, I got on, and that time I had taken mushrooms like 3 hours before the show.
Oh my God. I think I saw that one.
Well, maybe. I mean, other people have done mushrooms on that show. I was
Okay, maybe it was someone else.
last.
All right.
Yeah.
Good
At least
point.
you're an hour.
And, well, and plus, I didn't mention it on the show. I didn't bring it up.
Oh, okay. Then no one knew.
No, they just
Got
thought
it.
in 5 weeks
Yeah.
you just got way better for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to get on the Secret Show on mushrooms, you know, that's about as much dopamine as a person can handle.
How much did you eat?
I don't know. I mean, usually between like 3 and 5 grams is what you know. It was
Nice, dude.
The
You were
thing is, I would never do
fully
that.
tripping then.
I would never do that like 30 minutes before the show. I'm a pretty experienced like psychedelic user, and what I've found is that the second half of the trip is very different than the first half. So by the time I went on stage, I had already gone through that weird volatile point and the peak, and I wasn't like coming down, but like I had settled into it. And in the second half of the trip for me is always I feel very good. I feel sharp. I feel confident. So yeah, it worked out good.
Yeah, when he said hour 3, that's why I was like, okay, cool. You let it already sit in and coast. Because like, yeah, if you
I
eat
did
them,
mushrooms right before a show one time, and I mean, I absolutely froze. It was one of the worst days of my life.
I never hear anybody
But
talking
to
about
be
doing
fair,
mushrooms
it
anymore.
was-
Like I thought it was like an expired like fad.
no
Like,
way.
people doing
No,
mushrooms.
it's very
cocktails
mainstream.
now. Like you can
That-
go
that is
Yeah, you
hip.
can buy them at the
yeah, you can buy them.
You can buy them at the Kava bar in downtown Seattle.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought people had segued onto other stuff. But okay.
No, like they have health benefits.
Well, they have.
No, people are doing. People are
Unfortunately.
segueing on mushrooms for sure.
Yeah.
You see him
Yes. Oh, that was good.
D-Mac, do you have a comedian that is like your I don't know, the top of your list, the guy that you really made you want to be a comedian? Is there somebody that really resonated with you?
No, you know what? Like I never really wanted to be a comedian. I kind of just walked into it. Like I said, like people would be like, "Oh man, you're naturally funny. You should be a comic." And like I've made like skits before. I've done radio shows. I mean, I grew up like I like Dave Chappelle. I like Eddie Murphy from Coming to America. He was pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, there's other ones I could probably think of. I smoked a lot of weed today.
Dave Chappelle lived in my county in Ohio, and
Did he
he
really?
would come in to vote.
Did he?
Yeah.
D-Mac, are you funnier on weed or off weed?
I don't know.
Well, we're gonna have to have a scientific survey and figure that out.
We should do it. I'm
Richard,
down.
who's your comedian that made you want to do it, or that you thought was like the top?
Oh, probably like, I mean, Dave Chappelle's first special was pretty huge. My dad played a lot of Steve Martin records when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mitch Hedberg was like, that's what I remember watching Mitch Hedberg like when I was in college, when I kind of started to like, he was the first comedian I saw where I was like, wow, like I should take a trip to New York so I can go see this guy. And then he died. It was like that episode.
Way
or whatever,
early.
like-
Yeah. And he was so his delivery was so unique, just so different in how he delivered. Andy,
Yeah.
did you have one?
Well, number one to me is all time is Doug Stanhope. Like to me, nobody else even comes close. But then I grew up listening to Chris Rock, really like Chris Rock, and Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright, I bought and lost and bought again his set tape. I have a pony 4 times over like several years.
Wow.
Yeah. He is great.
Yeah, he's unbelievable.
I got to see
All right,
him
guys.
once.
So we're coming up this coming Thursday. D-Mac, what time does the show start again? You're the
doors
host.
open. Oh, yeah, it's unlocked. All right, cool. The doors open at 7:30. The show starts at 8 promptly. Like sometimes 8:05. It depends. But yeah, it's really funny show. I love all the comics that come up there. I like to talk to them, find out a little bit about them. Yeah, it's just a nice show. It's a friendly atmosphere. I think they only got rowdy one time. And that was there was some comic there, right? And he just came in instantly, just started talking shit about Bremerton, right?
Shit!
First of all, like
classic.
a bunch of people that work at the garage had came, right? And he was like,
Yeah, don't talk shit about Bremerton.
Yeah, he was just talking shit, and they
Wow.
just got on it. And we let him do it. We're like,
All right, you about to get shot.
just
But okay.
like threw him off because he was talking like the people that worked at the garage were there, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, the garage sucks." The people that work there, and they just
Oh, really? Oh, he went after a bar. He didn't just go
Yeah.
after the whole city. He went after the bar.
he was talking hella mess. Like I was like, "All right,
Richard
man."
and Andy, so you guys don't know this. There's a bar called the Garage.
They must have 86'd him or something. I bet
Wait,
that's
so
what it
we're
was.
not allowed to talk shit about Bremerton?
Oh, you can do it all you want. I do too. But
Just
I mean,
be prepared for the consequences.
That's all I have.
But he came in talking like out of all the comics I've met up there, I'll say 80% of them are just they're cool people. They're nice. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gets along. And then there's just that 20%. They just have this like ego attitude for some reason.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, all right, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's on you. Like I'm always trying to be friendly with everybody. So
Richard's gonna call Andy after this interview, be like, "You got to find someone else to take my spot." All I had was shit talking about Bremerton to do.
I'll just change it from Bremerton to Silverdale.
No, do your thing.
There you go.
You can talk about Belfair.
Yeah.
Of course.
Belfair doesn't have internet.
Nice. No indoor
It's-
plumbing.
They're still using AOL broadband. You're okay.
Nice.
You can talk shit about them. They won't find out for 3 months till the wagon train gets there. It'll be perfect.
Or the armpit of Gorst.
On your- I live in the
And then
armpit
they'll
of
try to
Gore.
chase
Stop
me
it.
down, and they'll have to stop at the water because they don't know.
That's
how to-
right. Yeah.
Very good.
Just throw some garlic water on them. You'll be fine. Hey guys, listen, I'm so glad you guys came on. D-Mac, it's good to meet you finally face to face. We're gonna have to do this on a monthly basis. We'll just promote the show and get more butts and seats out there at Tracy to Movie House for the for the event, and that'll be great. And we're gonna have you on for some other stuff later. We'll talk about that.
Perfect.
Richard, Andy, man, I wish I could be there on Thursday. If I wasn't flying to San Diego the day before, I would come out and cheer you all on. And
yeah, you're gonna miss me DJing the whitest set I've ever played in my life.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm gonna try to be
Hold
there.
on, guys, listen. The whitest,
That was God.
Him saying it's the whitest set he's ever played in his life. He used to play ABBA. It's gonna be a damn white set, is what it's gonna be.
Nice.
No, I got some good stuff planned, and then
You gonna throw some Journey in there for me?
I actually already have some Journey in the list.
Perfect.
Gosh, Dennis, stop kowtowing to him.
Oh, I'm not. Come on, don't stop believing. I got you know.
Yeah, no, my son plays that on the drums in his room. I introduced him to like alternative music. He never looked back. Never looked back. Like, he got guitars, like drums, all kinds of stuff. But I got him electric guitar set because you know what I'm saying. I'm not playing that. I'm not getting your real. So all you hear is all day.
You just hear the sticks on plastic. He's jamming out in his headphones, and you just hear.
Going crazy. Yeah. He's a good kid.
Hey guys, you've been great. Knock 'em dead on Thursday. I hope you guys make it out here again. If you do, I'll be sure to come out and check out the show. Maybe buy you a beer or something afterwards. And thanks for taking some time with us tonight. You guys are welcome anytime.
D-Mac, if I end up
Sounds
showing up
good.
Thursday, I'll come say hi.
Yes, please do.
I'll say hi. Oh yeah, Dennis will be there.
Yeah. We'll make a special handshake afterwards.
Perfect.
Are you kidding me right now? I've always wanted one of those.
I got you.
Hey, D-Mac, if you meet her, pull her hair. She loves it. All right.
She has to buy me flowers first.
Damn, is that her
Hey,
secret handshake?
Yes, that's called Kevin's an asshole.
Nice.
Just notice you can't see her hand, what it's doing under the table when it's down there. So, guys,
fucking wish.
Can't see
thanks
my
so
hands
much.
at all. So
I know, and you're on the toilet. So,
I don't even have pants on. Like,
Andy, are you in the laundry room? Is that where you're at?
It's a small house. I'm kind of in the everything room.
Nice.
I used to have a
D-Mac-
kitchen. I used to have a
D-Mac's in
laundry
the
in my
club.
kitchen, and I called it a calandry.
Nice.
Laundry. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you so much. Thanks for coming on. Have a great show on Thursday, guys. Knock it dead.
Sounds good. See you
Thanks.
soon,
That
D-Mac.
was a good one.
And the voice of God, I'll see you guys Thursday.
Dennis will see you
That's
guys Thursday.
Dennis, yeah.
And don't
Peace,
forget to pull
Dennis.
Beeler's hair. All right,
You-
guys.
Don't touch my hair, guys. I will literally kill you.
You guys are awesome. Thank you, gentlemen.
Play a
Take care.
flushing sound effect for me.
Do it. Flush it right now.
I don't. It's not. It's a composting toilet.
Wait a minute. You don't even flush. You just compost it.
Yeah, just
Awesome. Yeah,
Wait.
it's just like an RV one.
I know,
Yeah.
Andy. His composting toilet has to be worked into one of your beds.
Yes.
Do my best. He's probably got eight
Right
of them
on.
already.
I don't. I gotta write a I should write a composting toilet.
You should.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
Poop
should.
joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Was it
see.
your idea or your girl's idea?
It was my idea.
Yeah.
It was.
Right on.
It was my only option.
She must love you because she stayed with you even though she can't flush.
I can't believe it. Sometimes I wonder if she's real.
Is she real?
She poops in it more than I do. Okay. This is-
Manti Teo on the show
she's
tonight. All
gonna be
right.
pissed if. I hope she didn't hear me say that.
Andy, thanks so
She
much,
doesn't
man.
poop.
Listen, 45 minutes. I'm hoping that there's a. Do you ever record it and put it up anywhere afterwards, or is there somewhere I can catch it after the
Yeah,
fact?
absolutely. I
All right,
rarely.
don't
post-
tell anybody now because I want people to go see your show on Thursday. So don't tell anybody now.
You'll have to come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I
right,
would
guys.
love to.
Well, we appreciate you. Hey, have a good night. Knock him dead on Thursday, guys.
Yeah.
All right, it's a funny night out this coming Thursday.
Later, Andy.
At the Tracy T Movie House. Doors open at 7:30. Show starts at 8:05. Get there at 7:30. Give yourselves time to get some wings. They used to have these little chicken cordon bleu bites that were really good as well. The food down there is phenomenal. And you sit at a table and you put a little flag up on your table and they'll come to your table and they'll take your order and they'll bring it to you. So
Wow.
you don't have to miss any of the show. It's phenomenal.
the
It's
service.
great. And there's
I wanna-
video games and stuff out front.
Yeah. They have the dope show coming. I want to go to that.
Okay, I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
They
I've been
come.
on
They
that.
bring. They bring.
You've been on the dope
This
show,
show's
Andy?
gonna be dope.
Yeah,
So
a couple months
Hey.
ago.
Wait a minute, Richard. This show's going to be dope, or you guys are going to be on dope? What did you say?
But
No
we
dope
happen to
for
be
me.
sponsored by
No dope for you. Okay, it'll be a great show.
Destination Highway 420.
That's right.
I know.
Okay.
Anyways,
All right.
yeah.
Good night, guys. We love you. Have fun on Thursday.
Toodaloo.
Check out the
Good
show.
night. Later.
A funny night out this Thursday. Tracy's Movie House.
So the premise with the dope show is that comedians come in, they do their stand up, and then they leave and go to a private place, get stoned, and they come back and do it again.
Your mic's muted. There.
They all do 2 sets. They do one sober and then one
Yeah.
not sober.
Oh,
And it plays at the Tracyton Movie House.
really?
Yeah.
It used to be at the Roxy, but
Okay. All right. Look who's here, ladies and gentlemen.
Tom is here.
Tom made it in. He doesn't have a mic over there. But happy birthday to your dad.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm going to turn the camera on.
Oh,
There's Tom.
okay.
What's up,
Hey.
buddy?
Hey guys.
Like the Hello Kitty mug.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, you look good. How was the birthday with the dad?
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice.
You tell him we said happy birthday?
Yes, I did.
Did you really?
I really did.
You wouldn't lie.
I would not lie.
Of course you wouldn't lie. You're not a woman. Okay. Great. Perfect.
Don't
Richard's still in the chat. You can steal my jokes, man. It's okay. I don't need
don't
credit.
use me to start a battle.
Have you guys watched the rap? They're all over Facebook now and reels and stuff where 2 comedians just rip on each other for 10 minutes and then the
Yeah.
crowd decides who wins. I fucking love those. Those are so good. Kevin Nelson said the Bad Company tribute band are going to be at the Roxy. They're great. Tegan said, FYI, Tara Simmons has already raised $26,718 for a 2026 run to retain her seat. It doesn't matter how much she raised.
Yep.
It matters how much is left after she goes on her next cruise. That's the question. That's the question. She's not on my happy list. She's really not. She's a deceitful, awful human being. All right, Paul is back with us as well. So we have the entire crew now. Everybody's here.
What up?
Yeah, we do.
Like full circle.
Hail, the gang's all here, guys.
Yeah.
That's right. Full circle, gentlemen.
Do we have any parting shots? Anything we want to say before we wrap this sucker up for the night? This was fun.
I pulled a Tom.
What?
I actually wrote my parting shots down.
Oh my God.
You
Yeah.
wrote your parting shots down.
I would.
Too much to remember.
Menace? Or make
That'll
Paul
do
hot? He's not turned up.
That'll do it.
Turn Paul on. There you go. Not the first time we've said that. Hello, Paul.
That's messed up, dude.
No, Tom, you
That's
get parting
messed up.
shots too tonight. Just so you know. Okay. Hey, Dennis, would you make sure that somebody pulls Beeler's hair at the event on Thursday?
Do not.
Thank you.
I might stroke it though.
I didn't say I was going. I said if I decided to go.
So I'm not allowed to hold on. I'm not going to pull your hair.
I wish you
but
would go.
I'm not going to pull your hair.
Don't pull my hair.
But since I'm not allowed to pull your hair, am I allowed to do this? Is that okay?
No.
Is that can I stroke your hair?
That's creepy.
Can I
That is so creepy.
Joe.
Ew.
I'll just start calling you Joe.
put the lotion on the skin or it gets the hose again? All right. Dennis, do you have any party shots tonight, my friend?
Gross.
As always, cooperate for kids and come out to the show Thursday.
Yeah, I really
It'll
wish
be
I
a
was
fun night.
going. I don't even know if Maya remembers me. She's met me a couple times, but I don't
Yeah.
think she remembers me.
I don't know.
She met me at Whaling Days in the middle of all the other chaos
Yeah.
at Whaling Days, so she probably does remember me. But I remember my mind. Lori, do you have any parting shots?
Hey, guess what Tuesday is? We're green.
What is Tuesday?
St. Patrick's
Oh
Day.
my God! I gotta.
Oh my
I have to go to the office on Tuesday, which means I'm gonna have to wear green. That's gonna suck.
I'm bringing donuts to my team.
Are you? I'll probably wear Seahawk gear.
Take a hip flask of whiskey. I mean, you know.
I don't think I'm allowed to take that into a federal building, but it's easier to ask forgiveness and permission. Yeah, Tom, I know that you just got here and you haven't been a part of any of the conversations. You missed the entire
show.
15 minutes that Lori spent talking about your nipple shirt. But
Didn't
do you have any-
happen, but okay.
Do you have any parting shots?
Well, I mean, if I made it to the whole show, it wouldn't really change what my parting shot is. You know, happy birthday, Dad. I know how lucky I am to still have you in my life. You know that, and
Yes.
my mom. You know,
Yes.
I am. Heck, I still have a grandmother. You know, but
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, she's 98.
Wow.
Amazing.
That's awesome.
But yeah, no, I know I'm very lucky to have the family I have, and I was, you know, it was nice to try to make Dad's day. You know, he asked for some barbecue, so I spent the day grilling and.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know Martin Sr., but I do know that if he said he was going to come to my house and measure some stuff, he would have done it after without a
good
month and a half
Lord,
having passed by, but that's okay.
Kevin.
Lori?
Thanks, buddy.
Kevin.
What?
What?
Lori?
Kevin.
Lori?
Kevin.
Lori?
Shut your freaking mouth, man.
Shut your pie hole, man.
God.
Beeler, what are your parting shots?
All right. I want to preface this by saying that, yes, I know it's social media. I shouldn't get my panties in a wad. But thus I did.
Paul's totally making
because-
signals and stuff over there. He's
Okay.
Paul,
go ahead, Beeler.
do you want to go? So, okay. Somebody asked a question in one of the Port Orchard community groups about hold on, I got notes. I took notes
There you
like
go.
Tom.
Good.
So, someone asked for feedback from Trump supporters, to which I answered. I said I support Trump's policies, not a big fan of the man himself, and that anyone in the Epstein files who prosecutors can prosecute, they should be tried and hung if found guilty. Now, just because I started with I support Trump's policies, this person jumped on me. And remember, I have been talking so much about bridging that divide that we have in this country. And so that was my reasoning for answering the question, because the more we communicate, the more we're going to be able to come to full understandings about where everyone is at.
Assuming there's an interest in like a real conversation and not just an excuse to have a tantrum, like it sounds
like I just did to Paul. Yeah. So, okay. So my point is that this is the problem right now. People that are like this are the problem. They are the big issue, because if we cannot hold a conversation, God damn it, you guys, stop.
I'm not doing it. I'm just laughing at him doing it.
I see you laughing out of my side
He's
eye.
doing stuff like this, and it's out of control.
You know what, Paul? Fuck you. I literally, this is the first time I have prepared.
Wait, you're not going to finish? Come on
Beeler,
now.
finish. Come on. You put all this time
No,
in
it's
effort
going
into
good.
it.
It's going good. I was just doing American
You
Sign
make one
Language.
more hand sign, I'm going to kick your ass, man.
Did Amber just yell at you, Paul?
No.
I hope she did.
No,
Okay.
she walked right in front of me and gave me a look, though.
Good.
I think I'm cut off.
Quit being a dick. Pretty simple.
All those women got to stick together.
Yeah.
Hey, Amber, Paul won't be able to disappoint you tonight. We're sorry.
Hey, Amber, can you hit him upside the head for me? Please, just smack him. Yeah. Yep. Dang it. Okay, as I was saying, if we cannot hold conversations on important topics, then we're never going to be able to bridge the divide that has been created. And if we don't come together, then America is going to crack down the middle, and that's going to be the end of that. Yeah.
So he jumped on you. What did he say?
Oh, it was a woman. She was a bitch.
Oh, she jumped on you?
Oh my God, she went off, and I just calmly just stated, "Look, you asked my question. You asked a question, to which I answered truthfully.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to hear the answer to that question,
Don't ask it.
don't fucking ask.
Especially in a public place. You know, in a
Alicia,
public forum.
that's why they had to come out and protest.
That's why they were out there with their signs.
Their signs.
That makes complete sense.
Yep. Friday. They were protesting no kings.
No kings.
No
I
kings.
mean, protest
Yes,
on
they
Friday.
were.
Yeah. all through
Saturday.
Port Orchard.
Yeah.
Friday.
at
And,
the Fred
oh, was
Meyer
it
on the
Saturday
corner.
too?
Yeah.
Oh, it was
I-
Friday.
Oh, I know what happened.
Friday outside the town square mall, and there was a
Oh, they
couple
were out
other
here.
places.
I was here
Yeah.
all day Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
They were out here, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And over
Well,
the
they
bridge.
didn't make
as you
much
go
noise,
under.
Tom.
Huh?
Yeah.
Listen, these
Okay.
sons of bitches protesting no kings are the same ones that support Ferguson, who's a freaking king.
Right.
He is.
Oh,
All right,
and they
so
were
let's
at
not.
the ferry too. Right as you get off the ferry, they were right there.
Oh, were they?
You guys tell me, how ironic is it watching these people do No Kings protests?
Yep.
Meanwhile, their Democratic state representatives have passed an income tax, the largest tax increase in state history.
They're picking our
pilfered
sheriff
$4
now, all
billion.
that
Yeah,
shit.
telling us who we can have even run for office and who
Yeah.
we can't. Pilfered $4 billion from the firefighter and policeman's retirement funds.
I know it.
Yeah, no kings.
No kings.
But we'll take emperors.
Yeah.
Please keep continuing to strip my rights and taxes, and I'll keep voting for you because you're my king. That's
You can't function without government.
I know.
We're the government. We're here to help you.
Government has to keep me safe.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, that's what pew-pews are for.
All right. I'll give my parting shot, then Paul can give his.
Okay.
I open with it. I'm going to close with it. Dear conservatives, I hate the income tax as much as the rest of you. I really do. I'm not in favor of it, as some of you schmucks can't seem to figure out from what I post online when I say I don't support it. But this idea that the Seahawks are going anywhere is absolutely ridiculous. It is the dumbest argument you guys have ever come up with. Oh, the Seahawks are going to leave because of the millionaire tax. No, they're not. Because San Francisco and LA and California have been able to be competitive just fine. They've been able to bring in free agents, have been able to draft and make trades and be really competitive teams, even though California's got one of the most regressive one of the most regressive tax systems in the country. So this idea that somehow Seattle, which sells out 68,000 people into their stadium every Sunday, they're the largest cash cow in the state, are suddenly going to leave because of a millionaire's tax.
When, if I'm not mistaken, doesn't the NFL have to approve the move?
Well, I mean, the NFL would approve the move if it tanked the team. You know what I mean? Like, if it made them no longer profitable. I mean, the NFL was about ready to approve the Seahawks to move to LA when Ken Berry owned the team, right? Yep.
Well, listen to your point, Kevin. To your point, there are many other states that have an income tax.
Yes. And most importantly, and most importantly, there's not very many states that don't. Where are the Seahawks going to move to? Fucking Nebraska?
No, Nebraska
Idaho?
has an income tax.
Oh, do they? I don't know. Idaho?
Idaho's has an income tax.
Alabama would take them.
Well,
Alabama
but
has
again,
income tax.
they're not going to go to a market that's a third the size of the Seattle market.
Okay, but I think
it's dumb.
I'm going to
dumb.
push back on you because one of the points you're missing is that in the city of Seattle, if you are a football player, shut up, Paul. Shut up, Paul. Shut up, Paul. Shut up. It will be 18%.
Wow.
18% to be either an employee or an NFL player in the city of Seattle.
Agreed.
That is higher than New York.
The
City.
Seahawks are not based in Seattle. The Seahawks are based in Kirkland, so they don't have the Seattle
They
city
play
tax.
in Seattle.
They play in Seattle, but their offices are in Kirkland, so
I
they follow the
understand
Kirkland
that.
tax.
Nope. Because they play in Seattle, they have to pay the jump start
We'll
tax.
have to see about that. You're probably right. I'm just saying. But listen,
because that's where their
payroll
business takes
manager
place.
job. I am right.
But in San Francisco, they have higher tax rates in San Francisco proper. In LA proper,
No,
they
no,
have
no,
higher
no.
tax
You
rates.
didn't hear what I just said.
No, I understand. You're saying that in Seattle, they have to pay an 18% tax.
No, I'm saying when the income tax goes through, the city of Seattle will become 18% altogether for income
Right.
tax and other related employer taxes.
Right.
That's higher than New York City. New York City is the highest in the nation.
That's almost Washington state liquor tax. Almost.
Mhm.
And again, I'm not
And that's
debating
not
that.
even federal.
And it will hurt the team in a way, right? Up
Right.
until now, Seattle has had an advantage over other teams.
Correct.
Washington State hasn't had an income tax.
Right.
So when you're competing for a free agent, and the options are us or the Niners, they know they're going to make X amount more money because they don't have to pay an income tax if they come up here, and that's going to go away. So it's really going to level the playing field in some respects. Maybe tip it a little bit more the other way that it needs to be. And I'm not supporting it. I'm just saying this idea that somehow the city's going to leave is absolutely ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. Secondly, Seattle's never really done a lot with free agents. They've done a lot with trades and drafting. Sorry. Suck it up. You get traded for it or you get drafted, you have no say anyway. Suck it up, Buttercup. My other parting shot is I want to go back to this funny night out on Thursday. People were screaming about live events and entertainment and things to do during COVID. I can't wait for COVID to end so we can go do some of this other stuff. This is your opportunity to support venues that are trying to bring that other stuff.
Yep.
If you don't support it, and I know what the turnout's been like. I haven't asked Dennis specifically because if turnout sucks, Dennis, I don't want to put Dennis in the position to say it. And if Dennis says turnout's been great, he's just a talking box, right? So I don't want to know how it is. But if it doesn't work out and people don't show up and it goes away, you same bastards will be the ones complaining. We have nothing to do.
Last month's show was awesome.
Yeah.
So it's not going anywhere.
No, but what I'm saying is this is the community's opportunity to support things like this, which you guys were screaming for during COVID.
Oh,
so get out and support it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to.
I buy a whole row of tickets every month.
Yeah.
Really? Can I buy one?
Get out and support it.
Okay.
Come.
Cool.
And Tegan says, but many of those states are not
I
taxed
think
on
I got
everything
one
else.
extra, so come.
Okay. Thank you.
But Tegan said, but not all of those states are taxed on everything else plus an income tax.
That's what I was going to say.
I get it. You're absolutely right, but it's irrelevant. The Seahawks are big money in this state. It's not going to be an issue. They're not going to go anywhere. They're just not, and they have nowhere to go. There's nowhere you could relocate that team that would provide enough of an incentive to the owners for them to even consider it. The Boise Seahawks. Come on. The Helena, Montana Seahawks. The San Antonio Seahawks. By the way, one last thing I'll say about this. What are two states people talk about that don't have income taxes that should be a benefit to them? Florida and Texas. Guess what two states have no teams that are competitive at all in the NFL? Florida and fucking Texas, okay? The Cowboys haven't been relevant since 1996, and no team in Florida has done anything since the Dolphins won the Super Bowl in 71.
Oh my gosh, let's wrap this up and call it
There we
a
go.
night.
Tegan, I did not say you were right. I said you had a point on one thing you said. The rest of what you said was fraudulent. Go back to that middle of nowhere where AOL is king. All right. She lives in the middle of nowhere where AOL is king.
Oh, got it.
Go ahead, Paul. Parting shots. I love
First
you,
of all,
Tegan.
I'd watch what you say to Tegan because she's going to wipe her ass with you on paintball field day.
Well, first of all, she can't even get over here right now because the passes got snows and she's stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Hey, we're talking 6 weeks out, brother. So don't get your panties in a bunch.
She's a woman. She'll forget by then.
Oh.
With Kevin in a hot tub.
There's only so much room in women's heads to remember being angry in recipes. So let's hope she's focusing on recipes. But go ahead.
Wow.
Were you just talking
listen.
shit about me?
No, Tegan.
No,
Oh.
Tegan.
No, you don't cook, remember?
Quit making fun of Tegan. That's
It's
my
fun.
friend.
It's fun to make fun of Tegan.
No, leave her alone.
Do you cook?
Be nice.
Did
Do you
you
cook the
even
order?
pay attention, Kevin?
Great cook.
Okay.
Thank you.
Did you even pay attention?
So
She
what?
owned a paintball field for 12 years.
Okay.
She's gonna wipe
She
you.
gonna wipe your ass.
We'll see if
Yeah.
she even makes it over here.
Oh, she will.
We'll see if she even makes it over here. First thing I'm going to say to you is, what the hell are you doing out of the kitchen? Okay, go ahead, Paul.
Oh.
Well, listen, I don't really have any closing shots. I just want to tell everybody I appreciate you. Have everybody tune in next week for the interview with Mrs. Fox, and that'll be some good information. She's
Great.
rip roaring and ready to go. So
I'm
yeah,
excited
that's
to
it.
meet her.
That'll be a
Yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
That'll be a
Yeah,
lot
it'll
of
be
fun.
it'll be really good. I know that you ladies will have some good questions for her because you guys have experience on that end of things. So it'll be real good.
Teresa Fox is her name, and she'll be
Yeah,
on
Teresa Fox.
next Sunday. Yep.
Yep, for sure.
What? Okay, we are. He was plugging the guest for next week. That's
I
what
know.
we're supposed to do. Remember, I will not be here next week. I will be enjoying the sunny beaches of San Diego. I will
Well,
probably
trust me.
call
Hey,
in.
Kevin, we have a private chat just talking about what we're going to do because you're not going to be here.
I'm sure you probably do.
No, Kev.
But I will call in at some point and say hi. I won't be on long, but I'll call in and check in from the sunny beaches of San Diego. I'm going to wear Seahawk jerseys the entire time I'm down there.
Nice.
Tempting fate. Or
just to
pushing
remind them.
buttons?
Wait, can I tell you guys a quick story? And then we'll wrap really quick. I wore a Seahawk jersey. I was wearing my Largent jersey, and we pulled into
Wait,
Oakland.
you wear that?
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't frame it?
No, I have a signed Largent jersey that's
Yeah, yeah.
framed.
Oh, okay. You
And then
put
I
it
have
framed
another
that way.
Largent
Yeah,
jersey I
okay,
can wear.
got it,
Yeah.
got it.
So I pulled into a gas station in Oakland, right?
In
In
Oakland?
Oakland, yeah. And I'm
Oh,
wearing my Seahawk jersey, and I'm pumping gas. And this young black kid,
Sean Lynch's.
this young black kid is across the street and down a little bit,
Mhm.
and he starts yelling at me.
Mhm.
And I think I'm about to get shot. And then he starts walking towards me, and I think I'm about to get shot because I'm obviously a racist. He
Yep.
comes up to me and he says, That jersey is the shit. I remember Steve Larson growing up. I'm like, this kid's got to be 18. I remember Steve Larson growing up. He was great. I love that. He just came over to tell me how cool the jersey was.
Nice.
I thought he was going to shoot me in the head.
Wait, so you thought he was 18? How old was
He looked 18. He looked young, but
Okay.
he said he knew Steve Larson growing up, so I don't know.
Kevin, that happens when you get really old.
You know what they say? Black don't
Everybody
crack.
looks
That's
young.
what they say.
Oh gosh, Kevin.
Yeah. No, they look younger than they are. Isn't that what that means, Dennis?
No, that's not what that means.
That's not what that means? I thought that's what it meant, that they don't.
Alicia,
Good night, everybody.
you're not wrong. I card people in here all the time.
I know.
Like,
It's exactly what it is.
you're how old?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Happy birthday to Tom's dad.
Yep. Happy birthday,
Yeah.
Tom's dad.
And I have a question. If you peek into a glory hole, will you get cockeyed?
No.
I
Damn,
hope you tell
Dennis.
that joke on
Damn.
Thursday. I don't know, Paul. Do you?
Really? Do you want me to
Can I-
break out some of the Kevin shit, some of the deets that I have?
Good
You know,
night,
because
everybody.
Oh, look, Paul got muted. What the hell happened? Good night, everybody.
Night.
We'll see you Thursday, Sunday night, Outlaw Radio Network, outlawradionetwork.com.